Before we start the video, I want to let you guys know that I have memberships on my channel now. If you want to help choose which ARC videos like these I do next, have early access to content and other perks, consider joining. But with that out the way, let's get into the video. The Cell Saga takes place after the events of the battle on Namek. A year had passed since Goku's mysterious disappearance post-planet Namek's destruction, and he hadn't returned home yet as he said he would. As a young Gohan sits at his desk pondering his father's return, suddenly he feels something strange and gets a phone call from Krillin. They both sensed an incredible energy rapidly approaching and suspect it to be Frieza. King Kai and Piccolo sensed it as well, along with Vegeta, infuriated that Goku apparently spared Frieza's life. Tien and Chaozu, situated somewhere off in the mountains, pick up an incredible power as well, along with another one approaching with it. As predicted, we cut to a spaceship resembling Frieza's and witness the tyrant on board, endowed with robotic enhancements and telling his father that they're due to arrive on Earth before Goku. Frieza's father, a large individual resembling Frieza's second form, suggests obliterating the planet with a single attack. However, Frieza disagrees as he wants to face Goku once more and prove himself to be the strongest in the universe. As Frieza states he detected Goku approaching Earth same as him, Gohan quickly gears up and flies out of his house, leaving Chi-Chi curious as to where he's going. As Gohan soars through the sky, bewildered by the unfolding events, he eventually catches up with Krillin. Anxious to comprehend the situation, Gohan questions if Krillin also sensed the presence of another formidable key similar to that of Frieza's, and Krillin confirms, then stating how nobody could overlook such an overwhelming power. Meanwhile in space, Frieza's ship prepares to land on Earth. Vegeta, accompanied by Yamcha, stands in a desolate desert, pointing out Frieza and his father will land near them soon. They then notice a small jet copter heading their way as Bulma and Puar arrive on the scene. Curious about the notorious tyrant Frieza, Bulma, who had missed encountering him during their time on planet Namek, expresses her desire to meet him despite the danger. Tien and Chaozu then arrive at the scene, Tien still upset with Vegeta for being responsible for his death when he invaded Earth. Yamcha intervenes though, aiming to limit the confrontation. Tien questions the powerful energy approaching Earth, and Vegeta urges the group to suppress their battle power to avoid detection from Frieza's army. He also points out that Piccolo is already doing so, and everyone notices him nearby. Gohan and Krillin show up not long after, and Piccolo alerts everyone that their enemies have finally arrived. Frieza's spaceship lands at a distance, and Vegeta tells everyone not to fly to evade detection from Frieza's scouters. Tien and Yamcha fall silent, Yamcha apprehensive due to the overwhelming strength of Frieza and his father, and Tien experiencing firsthand the sheer power of them both. Yamcha believes there's nothing they can do against such powerful foes, but Piccolo questions if fighting is better than standing idle and waiting to die. Vegeta then points out that the situation not only remains hopeless for them, but this will likely be the end of the Earth. Over in the distance, tensions rise as Frieza, accompanied by his father and their henchmen, step out of the spaceship. King Cold informs Frieza that they have 3 hours until the Super Saiyan Goku returns and questions if they should wait. Frieza, of course, confident in his abilities, insists on waiting and eliminating the Earthlings before Goku arrives. King Code goes along with his son's plan, but states no matter what, the Super Saiyan must be eliminated to solidify their ranks as the strongest in the cosmos. Frieza then directs his subordinates to kill as many Earthlings as they can, while he himself prepares for the confrontation with Goku. Yamcha, infuriated by the prospect of facing death again so soon, is overwhelmed by emotions, but suddenly, an unknown figure lands before Frieza as the battle for Earth's fate is about to commence. Frieza questions the intentions of the unexpected warrior, a teenage boy sporting a jean jacket adorned with a capsule core patch and a sword secured on his back. The boy fearlessly stands up to the tyrants and declares that he's come to take them down. While Frieza assumes the boy doesn't realize the gravity of the situation, he knows exactly who Frieza is. Surprised, Frieza expresses his honor at being known even on a remote planet in the galaxy. However, the tyrant is determined to maintain the perception that he's the strongest in the universe and commands one of its henchmen to dispose of the boy while the rest deal with the Earthlings. The henchman confidently draws his weapon and dismisses the boy, considering him nothing but scum with only a battle power of 5. However, to everyone's surprise, the boy effortlessly swats away the henchman's blast and swiftly takes him down with an elbow strike. The other henchmen rush forward, but the boy grabs his sword and in an instant slices them all down. Meanwhile, Vegeta, Krillin, and the others sense a significant shift in energy, prompting Bulma to inquire about it. Krillin observes that a massive key has suddenly emerged, while numerous other key have vanished beyond the mountains. Back at the battlefield, King Cold acknowledges the boy's power, and Frieza, somewhat begrudgingly, concedes that the Earthling performed admirably. The boy then asserts that it's their turn to be killed, stating that it'll only take a few seconds. He then tells Frieza he'd better fight him with everything he has, as he's no pushover like Goku. At the mention of the Super Saiyan's name, Frieza assumes assumes the boy is on Goku's side. However, the boy clarifies he's never met Goku, but knows of him. He then drops a bombshell, telling Frieza he's miscalculated and revealing that he too is a Super Saiyan. Frieza and his father are shocked as the boy starts powering up, his hair transforming into a golden spiky mane similar to Goku's. Gohan in the distance recognizes the familiar ki and deduces that it must be his father, and we cut back to Frieza, who launches a massive blast, creating an explosive mushroom cloud as he and his father believe the warrior's been eliminated. The boy, however, evaded the attack and counters with his own, shooting a blast from above and slicing Frieza in half with his sword as the tyrant attempted to dodge. Frieza is split down the middle, and the commotion catches the attention of Gohan and the rest of the group. The boy swiftly wields his sword, slicing Frieza into pieces, and with a final blast, the tyrant is utterly obliterated, leaving everyone astounded. Bulma acknowledges the keen perception of the group, but also notices how strong Goku has become. Yamcha, however, speculates that the kid is definitely a Super Saiyan, but isn't Goku at all. As Vegeta suddenly takes off in the kid's direction, the others follow, except for Yamcha, Bulma, and Puar. Meanwhile, the kid lands on the ground along with King Cold. The tyrant praises the kid's victory over his own son and extends an offer for the two of them to rule the universe together. However, the boy declines, showing no interest. Cold then becomes curious about the boy's sword, asking to see it. Hesitant at first, Cold assumes he's afraid to hand it over, but the boy eventually tosses the sword to him. Cold examines the well-crafted weapon, believing it was the key to the boy's triumph against Frieza. He assumes he won't stand a chance without it and tries to strike him down, but the boy effortlessly catches the attack. To everyone's surprise, the boy then blasts a hole through King Cold's chest, and as the others arrive at the scene, the kid finishes Cold by blasting his body along with his spaceship, creating a massive explosion and eliminating the threat. He puts his sword away and returns to his regular form, inviting the others to join him in meeting Son Goku. Gohan wonders how the boy knows his father, and he invites them once more to come along, explaining that it's not far. Vegeta, meanwhile, is furious and questions the kid's identity, thinking that there are no Saiyans left besides himself, Goku, and Gohan. The kid takes off into the air, and Gohan decides to go with him. Krillin is suspicious, but Tien decides to join as well, figuring since the boy defeated Frieza and knows about Son Goku, he can't be a bad person. Yamcha and Bulma are curious about how he knows about Goku's arrival as well, and Vegeta, wanting to find out more about the boy, decides to go too. The boy looks at his watch and confirms the spot he's looking for, landing on the ground. Soon after, everyone else lands as well. The kid takes out a case of capsules and opens one, revealing a refrigerator. He mentions that Son Goku will arrive in about 3 hours and offers them drinks, to which Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin gladly accept. Bulma questions the boy if they've met before, but he denies it. Gohan questions his knowledge of his father, but the boy claims he's only heard of him, but never met him. Krillin wonders how the boy knows about Goku's arrival time, but he simply apologizes, saying he can't reveal the reason. Vegeta demands answers about the boy's identity and power, but he remains silent. Gohan suggests that the boy may have been a Super Saiyan before, which Vegeta dismisses, asserting that only he, Kakarot, and the half Saiyan Gohan are Saiyans. Despite Vegeta's doubts though, Gohan remains certain that the boy was indeed a Super Saiyan. Vegeta points out that all Saiyans have black hair, questioning the boy's claim. Bulma then notices the capsule core mark on the boy's jacket and questions if he's an employee, but he evades the question. She also questions his name and age, to which he replies that he can't disclose his name, but reveals he's 17 years old. Tien finds it peculiar that the boy won't share his name, and Yamcha suspects he's hiding something. Bulma then suggests that they stop interrogating the boy since he saved them in the earth, and everyone continues to wait for Goku's arrival. As they wait, Gohan questions Piccolo on why he didn't leave with the other Namekians after the battle on Namek, to which he simply replies that it would have been boring and that he's training fiercely every day. Bulma quietly tells Krillin that Vegeta is never around during the day either, likely engaging in special training somewhere. Krillin believes Vegeta still wants to defeat Goku due to his pride, and Bulma then notices that the mysterious kid somewhat resembles Vegeta, though their personalities are completely different. When the boy glances at Vegeta, the Saiyan expresses his disapproval of him, stating that if he's actually a Saiyan, he shouldn't be an unusual sight. After some time, the boy checks his watch, indicating that it's about time for Goku to show up. Gohan confirms it as he senses his father's ki, and shortly after, a space pod crashes nearby. Everyone rushes to the crash site, where Goku emerges in an unusual outfit, and his friends and family are happy to see him. He wonders how they knew he was coming, and they excitedly inform him that the mysterious boy told them about his arrival, leading Goku to ask about the kid's identity. Goku acknowledges that he doesn't know the newcomer, but Bulma asserts that the stranger knew precisely when and where to find him. This puzzles Goku, who mentions how Frieza spotted his spaceship and anticipated his arrival on Earth, but isn't sure how this stranger could know. Curious about Frieza's defeat, Goku wonders whether it was the work of Piccolo or perhaps Vegeta. To his surprise, Piccolo reveals that it was the boy who who defeated Frieza, and he's even capable of becoming a Super Saiyan. Goku is amazed by the kid's power at such a young age, and admits that he didn't even know there were other Saiyans out there. However, Vegeta denies the existence of other Saiyans, but Goku says it doesn't matter. The boy then tells Goku he wants to speak with him alone, and they walk a distance away from everyone else. Goku expresses gratitude to the boy for defeating Frieza, and admits he was too soft on him during their battle on planet Namek. The boy explains that Goku was originally supposed to defeat Frieza, but was prevented by a time discrepancy, leading him to intervene. Goku believes he would have beaten Frieza if not for the boy's intervention, but he disagrees, explaining that he was about 3 hours away at the time and couldn't have made it. However, Goku reveals that he might have been able to with his new technique, instant transmission, learned from the inhabitants of a planet called Yardrat, which surprises the boy as he realizes he unnecessarily altered history and met everyone in the process. Curious, the boy questions if Goku can transform into a Super Saiyan at will, to which Goku responds that he can. The kid questions if Goku could demonstrate it, and Goku does so, transforming into a Super Saiyan. The others watch in awe as Gohan announces Goku's transformation, and Vegeta sits back furious, but noting it's no surprise he beat Frieza. In response, the boy also transforms into a Super Saiyan, confirming the similarities between them. The boy then apologizes and rushes Goku with his sword, but the Saiyan remains unfazed, trusting that the kid doesn't intend to kill him. The boy smiles and insists on attacking again, this time with Goku transferring his energy to his finger. The boy charges once more at Goku with lightspeed sword slashes blocked by the Saiyan's finger, and eventually ceases the assault, acknowledging Goku's skill and sheathing his sword. The boy then reveals his true identity as Trunks, a time traveler from about 20 years in the future. He then reveals that his Saiyan blood is directly linked to Vegeta, as he's his son. Goku is taken aback by the revelation of Trunks' lineage, prompting him to yell as he's surprised Vegeta would ever have a kid. Although Goku states that he can't see Vegeta as a father, he admits that future Trunks does indeed resemble Vegeta. Trunks tells Goku that he'll be born in 2.5 years, but that he's come to discuss more serious business. He informs Goku that in 3 years, on May 12th, a pair of powerful monsters will appear on an island near South City. Goku, considering his most recent battles, questions if they're aliens. However, Trunks says that the duo are really androids created on Earth by Dr. Gero, the chief scientist for the Red Ribbon Army, the organization Goku defeated as a child. Goku, shocked to learn that they've resurfaced, wonders if they're attempting world conquest again, and Trunks suspects as much. He then says that the two androids called Mechanical Men numbers 19 and 20 killed Dr. Gero, so all that remain are the androids who enjoy slaughter and destruction. Goku is surprised that someone who defeated Frieza so easily could be frightened, realizing that these androids are stronger than the tyrant himself. He questions if Trunks has any other allies, but Trunks informs Goku that he's the only Z-fighter left on Earth in his time. As the dire situation unfolds, shifting the focus to the distant future, we witness a young Trunks as a Super Saiyan, honing his skills in combat alongside a battle-hardened one-armed Gohan. Encouraged by Gohan's praise, they pause their sparring session and settle on a cliff overlooking the city. Gohan expresses that Trunks may surpass him in a few months, leading to a discussion about the irretrievable loss of Gohan's arm due to the depletion of sensu beans. Gohan imparts the wisdom that what's lost cannot be regained, and Trunks mentions his mother's remark about his resemblance to his father Goku when he dons the orange gi, which surprises her every time. Gohan explains that he wears the outfit in hopes of one day becoming as strong as his father was, though it's not as easy as it seems. Suddenly, an explosion rips through the nearby city, a result of the android's havoc. Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan and instructs Trunks to remain while he confronts the threat. Eager to prove his strength, Trunks insists on joining, but Gohan distracts him momentarily and swiftly incapacitates him to protect Earth's last potential defender against the androids. Much later, Trunks regains consciousness and searches for Gohan, only to discover him lying lifeless in a pool of his own blood after his battle with the androids. Amidst his overwhelming grief, Trunks finds the strength to convey to Goku that all the other Z-fighters will be killed shortly after the androids appear. He also tells him that when Piccolo dies, the Dragon Balls will disappear forever and nobody can be revived again. Goku wonders what will happen to him, and future Trunks tells him that he never got killed by the androids, but not long from now, he'll grow ill from a disease that attacks the heart and he'll die before the androids appear. Goku's disappointed that he won't get the chance to fight the androids, which shocks Trunks as he thought he'd be nervous at the prospect of dying. He then tells Goku that he's a true Super Saiyan just like his mother told him, and gives him heart medicine, telling him that there's a cure for the illness 20 years into the future. Goku is overjoyed, and Trunks tells him that he has faith in him to fix things, and that his mother worked on the time machine so that Goku could help. Goku, upon hearing that future Trunks' mother knows him and made the time machine, quickly deduces that it must be Bulma. The Saiyan is stunned, figuring Bulma would end up with Yamcha, but future Trunks explains that Yamcha was unfaithful to Bulma, which led to their breakup, and Bulma shortly after fell in love with Vegeta. He also says that his parents were never married, and this was the first time he's gotten to see his father as he was too young to remember him in his time. Trunks then makes Goku promise not to reveal his parentage as it could jeopardize his existence, and the Saiyan agrees. Trunks then decides to return to the future to reassure his mother of his safety, and Goku thanks him for pretty much saving his life. Goku wonders if they'll meet again, and Trunks says he's unsure as it takes a while to build up power in the time machine. However, he'll return to fight with everyone if he's still alive in 3 years their time. Goku promises to train hard, and future Trunks flies off, much to the surprise of the remaining Z fighters. Goku's unsure how to deliver the news to everyone, but is relieved of having to do so due to Piccolo's exceptional hearing. And so, Piccolo tells the group of everything except for future Trunks' parentage. Yamcha and Bulma seem skeptical of the story, but Piccolo says he'll train to prepare, as he doesn't want to die. Just then, future Trunks' time machine rises into the air and disappears, convincing Krillin, Tien, and Vegeta of the story's credibility, and they decide to train for the battle as well. With the Z fighters having made up their minds, Vegeta questions Goku on how he escaped from Namek. Yamcha recalls King Kai stating that Goku wasn't going to make it as Frieza's spaceship was destroyed, but Goku says he found 5 space pods nearby, which Vegeta realized belonged to the Ginyu Force. Goku says that the pod took him to Yardrat, which Vegeta states the Ginyu Force were set to conquer next. Goku tells the group that the people of Yardrat were really friendly, and they gave him an outfit identical to the ones they wear since he got them torn up from his battle with Frieza. Vegeta then says that the people of Yardrat have strange techniques and that there's no way Goku would have left without learning one, prompting the Saiyan to state that he's learned a new technique called instant transmission, much to everyone's surprise. Goku explains the concept of the technique and proves his mastery of it by teleporting to Kame House and returning with Master Roshi's glasses. Although Vegeta initially believes the technique to be nothing more than super speed, Yamcha confirms that Goku actually traveled over 10,000 miles in an instant, amazing the rest of the group but infuriating Vegeta. Tien questions where and when they should reconvene in 3 years, and Piccolo informs the group but states that they should meet an hour early. The Namekian then says that anyone who doesn't think they stand a chance should stay home, but Vegeta puts Piccolo in that category, which prompts the Namekian to challenge him to a fight, although Goku defuses the confrontation. Bulma then suggests everyone attack Dr. Gero right away. She states they can ask Shenron for his location and do away with him, thus preemptively ending the coming threat in 3 years. Krillin likes the idea, but Vegeta threatens to kill anyone that does so. Bulma leans on Goku to support her idea, but Goku says he wants to fight as well, and so does Tien. Even Krillin agrees, stating that a common enemy will keep Vegeta from trying to kill them all again. Bulma still remains skeptical, but the group decide to begin their training. Goku, Piccolo, and Gohan decide to train together, as do Tien and Chaozu, while Krillin and Yamcha opt to train with Master Roshi. Vegeta claims that he'll beat Goku sooner or later before flying off, and Goku mistakenly tells Bulma to take care of her baby, which Yamcha interprets as Goku hinting that the two of them should get married and start a family. Later at Capsule Corps, Vegeta tells Dr. Brief to build him a 300 times gravity training room. Goku, meanwhile, tries to convince Chi-Chi to let Gohan train instead of study. Vegeta inside his training room vows to surpass even the Super Saiyan level, and as 3 years pass and May 12th arrives, Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo fly off to meet the androids that future Trunks claimed would appear. As they soar through the sky, Goku advises Gohan to conserve his energy for the upcoming battle. Piccolo questions Goku about their chances of winning, to which Goku admits uncertainty until they confront the enemy themselves. Piccolo finds Goku carefree and expresses his unease about the situation, and Goku reminds Piccolo not to overexert himself as his death would mean the loss of the Dragon Balls. The group then catch up to Krillin, who comments on Gohan's growth, but when questioned about his mood, states he's not happy about running into battle with a gang of androids. Eventually, the group of 4 reach a massive island with a city full of people, and Gohan suggests leading the androids away to fight elsewhere to avoid hurting the island's people. The group move toward a mountain plateau, where they encounter Yamcha and Tien, accompanied by Bulma holding a baby. Goku questions Bulma's presence as it could get dangerous, but she states that she wants to see the androids first and then she'll leave. Krillin is surprised to see Bulma holding a child, and Gohan assumes that she and Yamcha finally got married. However, Yamcha says he and Bulma broke up a long time ago, and how the group won't believe who the father is. Goku approaches the child and correctly deduces he's Vegeta's, which surprises Bulma as she hasn't shared that information with anyone. Goku brushes it off as a lucky guess, and Piccolo wonders where Vegeta is as the fight is about to begin. Bulma is unsure of Vegeta's location as they haven't been living together, but she's sure he'll show up, as is Goku, as he's been training training hard for this fight. Tien states he decided to leave Chaozu behind as he wouldn't be able to keep up, and Goku agrees as the team check their time for the android's arrival. More time passes, and Krillin questions the absence of Baby Trunks' tail while Gohan plays around with him. Piccolo then senses someone coming, but says they aren't evil. A little air car then flies in, and Goku notices it's Yajirobe and wonders if he came to fight. However, he only stopped to deliver some sensu beans from Korin and flies off as he wants no part of what's coming. Tien thinks it's strange that it's past 10, but he feels no sign of the enemy at all. Yamcha assumes the story of the androids was all a lie, but Bulma says he said about 10 AM and it's just 10:17 right now. Yamcha, however, states that if there were anyone around, the group would have been able to feel their ki and spot them, no matter where they were on Earth. But just then, an explosion occurs in the air and Yajirobe's car goes down. Piccolo directs everyone's attention to the sky, and the group noticed two figures from afar going into the city, but nobody got a good look at them. Goku says he couldn't feel their ki at all and wonders why, but Gohan says they're androids, so they likely don't have ki. In the city, an old man with a mustache and long white hair and a short, fat, pale individual stand in the middle of the road, each one wearing a hat donning the red ribbon logo. Piccolo suggests that if the group can't sense their ki, they should use their eyes to search for them. Goku agrees with the idea and advises everyone to stay cautious and inform the group if they find anything, but tells Gohan to check on Yajirobe as they all fly down to the city to begin the search. Goku lands on a building and wishes he had a photograph of the enemies from Trunks. Krillin, landing on the sidewalk, wonders about the identities of the androids, while a bystander is shocked to see he was flying. Meanwhile, Piccolo and Tien also arrive in the city, and Gohan helps Yajirobe, who crash landed in the ocean while Yamcha runs through an alley. As the androids walk through the city, two individuals approach them asking if they saw the car explosion. The older android, known as number 20, remains silent, while the fat, pale one, number 19, attacks the men. A car approaches, and the driver confronts them for blocking the road. Number 20 punches through the car's hood, then grabs the driver by the neck and kills him. This horrifying scene is witnessed by a woman who screams, prompting Yamcha to rush toward it. As the old man senses energy approaching, he figures it must be a sensor malfunction. However, number 19 confirms that it's not, and that they found Son Goku. Meanwhile, Yamcha arrives at the scene of the attack, questioning the people in a nearby window about the culprits, but they mention that the assailants suddenly disappeared. Above, the androids float in the air and identify Yamcha as the human they were detecting earlier. Although it wasn't their desired target, number 20 says that he'll still be a good source of power. The two land behind Yamcha, who soon realizes their true identity and backs away. However, before he could call for the help of his allies, number 20 grabs him by the face and lifts him while draining his energy. It's not long before the android ends Yamcha's resistance by driving his arm through his chest, much to the warrior's surprise. Number 20 eventually withdraws his arm from Yamcha, and Goku detects something amiss, while Tien and Krillin observe a significant ki rapidly diminishing and figure it's Yamcha. Piccolo takes flight to join the others, and they all arrive on the scene in front of number 19 and 20. As Goku yells out to an unconscious Yamcha, number 20 releases his grip and drops him to the ground. Goku tells Krillin that Yamcha's still alive and to get him to safety and feed him a sensu bean. Krillin agrees and flies off with Yamcha, as Piccolo deduces they're facing the androids now and is relieved they finally revealed themselves. Number 20 finds it peculiar that they know they're androids and wonders how they knew where to find them. Piccolo suggests that they force the answer out of them, and number 20 agrees to this approach. Goku proposes moving to a location devoid of people, but number 20 replies that there's no need to go elsewhere, as he unexpectedly begins using his eye lasers to destroy a significant portion of the city. Goku shouts at him to stop and rushes in to deliver a punch, knocking off number 20's hat. Meanwhile, Yamcha's been healed on the plateau by Krillin, as the group of he, Gohan, Bulma, Baby Trunks, and Yajirobe then witness the devastation in the city from afar. Number 20 puts his hat back on and remarks that he only aimed to fulfill Goku's wish of a deserted area. Enraged, Goku challenges them to come with him and the others to face defeat. However, number 19 retorts, stating that the group have no hope of defeating them. Number 20 confidently offers to follow Goku and invites him to choose his place of death. Everyone wonders how the androids know Goku's name, and he reveals that he also knows the names of Piccolo and Tien. Goku then notices other residents of the city nearby and suggests they discuss later, urging everyone to leave immediately. Goku takes off, followed by 20 and 19, with Piccolo and Tien close behind. On the plateau, the others realize the group is changing locations, and Yamcha exclaims that they'll need to tell them that the androids are capable of stealing energy. As Goku, Piccolo, Tien, and the androids search for a suitable battleground, Yamcha informs the group that Android 20 was able to drain his energy by grabbing him. Bulma praises Dr. Giro's remarkable scientific abilities, while Gohan suggests informing the others and takes off to pursue the androids. Yamcha feels too powerless to join, but Krillin volunteers to deliver sensu beans to the team. Eventually, Yamcha decides to follow along, but only as an observer. As the group with the androids flies over a desolate plain, number 20 chooses it as the battlefield, dismissing Goku's objections. They land, and Piccolo notices the rocky mountains surrounding the plain, noting the androids plan to hide there if needed. Goku questions again how the androids know about them, and Tien observes that Goku is breathing heavily after flying. Number 20 reveals they've been observing Goku's battles since he defeated the Red Ribbon Army, seeking a weakness in order to determine what sort of android could defeat him. He clarifies that only Dr. Gero remained after the army's fall, although Piccolo remarks that Android 20 speaks as though he's Dr. Gero himself. Number 20 denies this though, and insists that Dr. Gero is no more. Goku then questions if they observed his battles on Namek, to which number 20 responds that they had enough data by that point and didn't need to. Meanwhile, Gohan, Krillin, and Yamcha search in vain for the battle site, stating that nobody was fighting yet, so they couldn't sense their ki. Goku points out that the androids overlooked a significant portion of his life, surprising number 19 and 20. Piccolo notes that it was a fatal mistake not to be aware of Super Saiyan, and Goku transforms as the energy released alerts the others to the battle's location. Tien and Piccolo are amazed by Goku's power, and Android 20 admits that the Saiyan has far surpassed their calculated limits. However, he remains confident that both he and 19 can still handle Goku. Goku then declares that he'll find out for himself soon enough and charges in to engage in battle. Goku rushes toward 19, suddenly vanishing when the android tries to strike him. In a swift move, Goku reappears behind 19 and delivers an elbow strike to his back, sending him flying. The sight surprises Android 20, but 19 quickly recovers and launches himself at Goku. With ease, Goku stops him with just one hand and kicks him high into the air. While number 20 watches in shock, Goku ascends and appears behind 19 once more. Despite 19's multiple attacks, Goku dodges and lands a knee to the android's stomach, following an elbow to the face. Tien is amazed at Goku's Super Saiyan power, suggesting that he seems to exist in a completely different dimension compared to the others. Piccolo agrees, but appears to be concerned about the ongoing battle. As Goku continues to pummel Android 19, Android 20 worries that his companion may run out of energy before being able to absorb Goku's power. At that moment, Gohan, Yamcha, and Krillin arrive at the scene. Although Gohan shows concern for his father, Tien reassures them, stating that the androids are no match for Goku's Super Saiyan strength. Goku relentlessly attacks 19, making Yamcha wonder if the energy absorption notion was just his imagination. Gohan, however, appears perplexed about something, and Piccolo questions if he noticed it too. Gohan confirms, and Piccolo expresses that Goku seems rushed and weakened. This surprises Tien, who believes that Goku is overpowering the android. Piccolo then states that Goku's strength should be much higher, and Gohan brings up Yamcha's theory about energy absorption, which surprises Piccolo. Yamcha recounts his experience with Android 20, and just then, Goku kicks 19, sending him crashing down to the ground. 19 gets up and stares at Goku, Yamcha then noting that he doesn't seem bothered by the beating he's taking. Visibly exhausted, Goku decides to finish off 19 with a Kamehameha. Upon seeing the attack, 19 and 20 become ecstatic, and 19 absorbs the blast effortlessly with his right hand. The Z Fighters are left in shock, and Yamcha points out that he was right about the absorption ability. Piccolo urgently warns Goku against using Ki Blast since the androids can absorb them. All the while, the Saiyan appears to be weaker than before. Krillin notices Goku's unusual behavior and speculates that he might have lost a lot of his ki already, but Piccolo observes that 19 hasn't grabbed Goku yet. Gohan seems to have a realization, while Android 20 notices that 19's power has increased while Goku's has dramatically decreased. Fueled by the newfound energy, Android 19 charges head first at Goku once more. Goku manages to evade 19's initial punch and tries to counter with an elbow strike, but the android evades the attack. 19 retaliates by kneeing Goku in the stomach, prompting Goku to respond with an elbow strike to 19's face. Surprisingly, 19 seems unfazed by the attack and retaliates by smacking Goku in the face and slamming him down. However, Goku prevents himself from hitting the ground and readies himself to launch a powerful Kamehameha attack at 19. Just as Goku is about to unleash the attack, Piccolo intervenes, urging him to stop. Concerned about Goku's condition, Yamcha notices signs of weakness in him and wonders if he somehow had his energy drained. However, Gohan notices his father clutching at his chest and deduces he's suffering from the heart virus future Trunks warned them about. To counter the virus's effects, Krillin throws Goku a sensu bean to restore his strength. Android 20, watching from a distance, identifies the bean as the fabled sensu and gains insight into its power. However, despite the temporary boost, Goku's condition doesn't improve and he struggles in the fight. The Z Fighters are puzzled as to why the medicine Trunks gave didn't help Goku, but Gohan explains he never took it as he hadn't fallen ill to the virus until now. The situation worsens as 19 gains the upper hand, knocking Goku back and causing causing him to revert to his base form. As 19 lands on top of Goku and grabs him by the neck, the remaining Z fighters rush to aid him but are intercepted by Android 20, who blocks their path. Piccolo attempts to move him out the way, but is shot down by number 20's eye lasers. Meanwhile, 19 continues to drain Goku's energy until he's suddenly struck by a powerful kick from an unknown figure. It was revealed to be Vegeta, who appeared determined to keep anyone from killing Goku unless it was him. The sudden appearance of Vegeta leaves both the Z fighters and the androids in shock. Piccolo, who is lying on the ground, surprises everyone by getting up, admitting he was only pretending to be defeated to create an opening to save Goku. He then tells Gohan that it would take more than a puny attack like that to take him down. Vegeta berates Goku for transforming into a Super Saiyan despite being aware of the anomaly in his body. He tells Goku that he'll be the one to defeat him no matter what, and kicks him into the air. Piccolo catches Goku, and Vegeta suggests taking him home and giving him the heart medicine. Gohan offers to do it, but Yamcha insists on taking Goku instead, considering himself less useful than anyone else on the battlefield. Piccolo advises Yamcha to take some medicine too, as the virus could be contagious and he doesn't want to take any chances. As Yamcha flies off, Android 19 readies himself to pursue him, but Android 20 tells him not to, finding it more entertaining to save the best fighter for later. Number 20 believes they can handle the other Z fighters now that Vegeta has joined them, and Krillin proposes a temporary retreat, referring to future Trunks' account of everyone except for Gohan dying. Gohan, however, argues that if they retreat, the androids will continue to wreak havoc, and Piccolo points out that history has already diverged from Trunks' timeline. He states that Trunks' presence may have caused subtle changes like the timing of Goku's heart virus, but Krillin thinks to himself that no matter what's changed, the androids still remain a terrifying threat. Android 19 questions Android 20 if he can kill Vegeta, and after some insult, 20 agrees, claiming the other 4 fighters for himself. Vegeta remarks that the androids aren't nearly as strong as rumored, mentioning how the only thing he needs to be concerned about is their energy absorption ability. Number 19 retorts that he's aware of Vegeta's abilities too, but the Saiyan Prince asserts that Saiyans can't be reduced to mere calculations. Vegeta then questions if androids can feel fear, and transforms into a Super Saiyan, surprising the Z fighters and the androids. Krillin expresses his belief that a Super Saiyan had to be pure of heart, but Vegeta explains that while his heart is pure, it's pure evil. He describes how he pushed himself through intense training to become a Super Saiyan, fueled by rage against himself, and now the time has finally come for him to surpass Goku and reclaim his place as the Prince of all Saiyans. Android 20 tries to convince Vegeta that he's still no match for them, but Vegeta remains undeterred. 19 charges at the Saiyan, landing a punch on his face, but Vegeta shows no sign of pain. He explains that in addition to his power, his ferocity has increased in his Super Saiyan state as well. He then proceeds to counterattack, delivering a powerful kick to the android's chest, followed by an elbow and a kick to the face, sending the android flying backward. With a calm demeanor, Vegeta approaches Android 19 while 20 watches in horror. Vegeta insults the androids, inquiring if they screwed up their calculations. In response, Android 19 swiftly springs to his feet and lunges at Vegeta, who dodges the attack and counterattacks, propelling 19 into the air with a powerful kick. Unfazed, Vegeta pursues his airborne opponent and catches up to him quickly, catching him off guard. Dodging a grab from the android, Vegeta delivers a solid blow to his face. Noticing that Android 19 is bleeding, Vegeta sarcastically questions the nature of the liquid, whether it's blood or oil. The android tries to retaliate by attacking Vegeta with his laser eyes, but the Saiyan evades skillfully and slams him into the ground, nearly hitting the other Z fighters. The impact creates a substantial crater where 19 lies motionless, and Vegeta lands nearby. Just as he thinks the fight is over, 19 springs into action, grasping Vegeta's wrist firmly and announcing his intent to drain all of the Saiyan's power, insisting that escape is futile. Undeterred, Vegeta experiments by pushing against Android 19's face with his feet and stretching his body. He confirms that 19 indeed absorbs energy through his hands, but Vegeta takes it a step further by fully exerting his body, severing 19's hands at the wrists while they remain stubbornly attached to him. 19 is sent flying backward, shocked by the unexpected outcome, and Android 20 is equally surprised. After removing 19's hands from his wrists, Vegeta examines them, noting the energy absorption areas on the palms. He tosses the severed hands to the ground and taunts a scared Android 19, noting that fear is something the android can experience. In a desperate attempt to escape, 19 scrambles out of the crater to make a run for it. However, Vegeta ascends into the air and prepares to destroy the android, with number 20 attempting to intervene verbally, although Vegeta dismisses him, stating that he'll deal with him later. After amassing enough energy, Vegeta unleashes a mighty Big Bang attack, creating an immense explosion that astonishes everyone watching. When the smoke clears, only Android 19's head remains, and Android 20 suggests they may have underestimated Vegeta, but he still Piccolo remains convinced that the Saiyans still cannot win, a notion that Vegeta scoffs at. Vegeta approaches Android 20 and reverts to his base form, mentioning he's exhausted a significant amount of energy and offers for the android to challenge him. However, 20 is suspicious of Vegeta's intentions. Vegeta playfully accuses him of being a sore loser, prompting the android to flee towards the rocks as previously deduced by Piccolo. Vegeta demands Krillin to hand over a senzu bean to recover his strength, to which Krillin hesitates to provide it. Piccolo urges Krillin to give it to him, and Vegeta, now transforming into a Super Saiyan again, warns the Z Fighters to stay out of his way as he pursues Android 20. Piccolo explains that Vegeta had indeed lost a significant amount of power fighting Android 19 and had bluffed against Android 20. He states that had 20 called his bluff, Vegeta certainly would have lost the battle. The Namekian admires Vegeta's strength and combat prowess, suggesting that he might have even surpassed Goku, much to the surprise of the Z Fighters. Tien decides to follow Vegeta, eager to witness Android 20's defeat. Krillin and Gohan join in as well, but Piccolo advises them not to engage in a fight and to inform him or Vegeta if they locate Android 20. The Z Fighters then set off after Vegeta, and meanwhile, the Saiyan struggles to locate Android 20, calling out for him. In an attempt to flush him out, Vegeta fires a blast toward the ground, but Krillin warns him that the rest of them are nearby. Suddenly, Android 20 takes advantage of the situation, stepping in front of the blast and absorbing it with his palms, gaining a minor boost in his power. Observing this, Vegeta becomes furious and charges toward the android, but he quickly disappears, outpacing the Saiyan. As he watches Vegeta from above, number 20 notes that the Z Fighters rely too much on tracking Ki and have overlooked their observation skills. He's however impressed by Vegeta's power and realizes he'll need to return to his lab in order to stand a chance against him. Number 20 then spots Gohan, Tien, Piccolo, and Krillin searching for him amongst the Rocky Mountains and begins devising a plan to drain their energy to strengthen himself before taking on Vegeta. The Z Fighters continue their search for Android 20 in the mountains. Before confronting Vegeta though, 20 selects Piccolo as his first target since he's stated to be the strongest after the Saiyan. Sneaking up from behind, number 20 covers Piccolo's mouth to prevent him from calling for help. However, Piccolo telepathically contacts Gohan, who senses the change in Piccolo's energy and rushes to assist him. Android 20 continues to drain Piccolo's energy, but Gohan arrives just in time to strike him from behind, freeing Piccolo and alerting the rest of the group of their location. Piccolo thanks Gohan for saving his life, and the group surrounds Android 20, outnumbering him as Vegeta smiles after locating his target. Gohan instructs Krillin to give Piccolo a senzu bean to restore his energy, and he does so. Piccolo then removes his weighted clothing and insists on taking on Android 20 alone. Vegeta shows little concern for Piccolo's well-being and tells him to go ahead, although at his current power level, he might just be giving the android the energy he's looking for. As 20 agrees and sees this as an opportunity to gather more energy, Piccolo swiftly attacks with a knee to the face, displaying remarkable speed and surprising the other Z Fighters aside from Vegeta. Android 20 charges in again, but after being knocked to the ground, he immediately finds himself at a disadvantage, unable to believe that Piccolo is still stronger than him since absorbing both he and Vegeta's energy. Meanwhile, Future Trunks returns to aid the Z Fighters against the androids. Unable to locate anyone on the island he told them about, he senses the ongoing battle and heads in the direction of the new location. Meanwhile, Piccolo continues to overpower Android 20 in the mountains, impressing Krillin with his newfound strength. Bulma and Yajirobe, on their way to the battlefield as well, discuss whether they should approach the explosion site in the airplane. Recognizing Future Trunks as he flies past them though, Bulma feels reassured that they're going in the right direction and continues on. At the battle scene, Piccolo cuts off Android 20's right hand and taunts him about the insignificant energy he stole earlier. Future Trunks then arrives at the battle site alongside Android 19, completely bewildered about the android he's witnessing. Just then, Trunks witnesses an explosion further out and rushes toward it. During his flight, he states that Android 19 isn't one of the androids he's familiar with and wonders if there are now 3 of them total. Meanwhile, at the battlefield, Piccolo continues to effortlessly handle Android 20, who's surprised by the Namekian strength exceeding their calculations. Piccolo explains that the changes in the android's power levels and the Z Fighters' growth have altered the future, making their enemies out to be way weaker than they were led to believe. Tien acknowledges that while he's uneasy about Piccolo and Vegeta's immense power, it's beneficial for the current situation, and Vegeta instructs Piccolo to finish off 20, otherwise he'll step in. Piccolo confidently states that he'll handle it himself, as he's nowhere near as soft as Goku, and suddenly, everyone senses a powerful energy approaching, and Future Trunks arrives on the scene. Piccolo calls him by name, and Vegeta realizes that this version of Trunks is his son from the future. Trunks thinks to himself that he doesn't recognize Android 20 either, who is equally curious about Trunks' identity. Feeling that he's made major miscalculations today, 20 figures that he now now has no choice but to retreat to his laboratory. Amidst the confusion about the android's identity, Bulma, Yajirobe, and Baby Trunks approach the battlefield. Yajirobe threatens to toss Baby Trunks out the window if they get any closer, to which Bulma clarifies that Vegeta is the father, causing him to reconsider. As the discussion concerning the android's identity unfolds, Krillin suggests that they may be different due to the alterations in history. Meanwhile, Android 20 devises a plan to escape by hiding amongst the rocks, and Bulma and Yajirobe arrive just in time. As Future Trunks warns his mother of the past to stay away, Android 20 exclaims that Androids 17 and 18 will come for them all soon, then launching an energy wave at Bulma's airplane, causing it to explode and temporarily blind the Z-Fighters. As the smoke clears, Android 20 vanishes and Piccolo gets upset. Future Trunks manages to rescue Bulma and his younger self, and Vegeta floats above the rubble, preparing to go after Android 20. However, Future Trunks intervenes, questioning why Vegeta didn't attempt to save Bulma and his son. Vegeta, however, dismisses the notion of sentimentality and flies away, much to Future Trunks' shock. Bulma then questions Android 20's appearance, revealing that she believes that he is in fact Dr. Gero, as she'd seen his picture in an academic journal. This leads her to wonder if he modified his own body, as Yajirobe lays covered in rubble, asking for anyone to help him. Krillin informs the group that Bulma suspects Android 20 is actually Dr. Gero. Vegeta seeks clarification, and Bulma explains that she's seen Gero's picture before. Although he was a renowned scientist, he was not well liked by his peers, and a transformation into an android was likely to extend his life. Vegeta then gets annoyed with Future Trunks, as the androids are different from what he had described, and he had previously mentioned that they killed Dr. Gero. Future Trunks speculates that his time travel may have altered history, but Piccolo suggests that androids 17 and 18 referred to by Gero could be the ones Future Trunks knows. The Namekian inquires for a description of the pair, as they can't afford to lose any more time, and Future Trunks provides one. The question then arises whether androids 17 and 18 can absorb energy through their hands, but Future Trunks is knowledgeable about them, stating that they have an infinite energy supply. Curious on Goku's whereabouts, Future Trunks learns that the heart virus he warned them about has taken effect, but long after the given time frame. He questions Bulma about Gero's lab location, and she reveals that it's rumored to be in a cave near North City. Piccolo proposes a plan to reach the lab before Gero and destroy the androids before their activation, but Vegeta disagrees, dismissing it as a cowardly approach. Future Trunks cautions against underestimating the androids and suggests waiting for Goku to recover if they can't beat Gero to the lab. However, Vegeta asserts that he doesn't need anyone, including Goku, and flies away, confident in his power as a Super Saiyan. Piccolo believes Vegeta might have a chance of winning, but Future Trunks disagrees, as he himself is a Super Saiyan and was no match for the androids in his time. He then vows not to let his father die again and chases after Vegeta, leaving the rest of the group. This unexpected reference to Vegeta as his father surprises Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan, leading Piccolo to reveal Future Trunks' true identity as the grown-up version of her baby. Piccolo tells Tien, Krillin, and Gohan that he'll need their help to locate Gero's laboratory, as it'll be easier to destroy 17 and 18 before they're reactivated. Gohan inquires if Bulma can relay their newfound information to Goku, but without a ship, she can't exactly get to him. Piccolo then instructs Gohan to take Bulma and Baby Trunks to Goku, while he, Tien, and Krillin try to find the lab before Vegeta does. As they set off, Yajirobe appears and joins Gohan, Bulma, and Baby Trunks, telling Gohan to hurry up so they can all leave together. Meanwhile, as Dr. Gero approaches his lab, his sensors pick up someone's energy and he hides among the rocks. He then spots Vegeta and Future Trunks flying toward his lab, initially thinking it's a coincidence, but recalls Bulma's connection to Capsule Corporation and realizes that they're indeed heading for it. He then spots Piccolo, Krillin, and Tien and realizes they must be planning to destroy androids 17 and 18 before he can activate them. Gero, confident that the Z-Fighters will need to do a bit of searching to find the precise location, he decides to take a different route, hoping he'll have enough time before they discover his lab. Meanwhile, during their flight, Future Trunks ponders Future Bulma's belief that there's some good deep down in Vegeta, but he remains skeptical, as only a monster would abandon the mother of his child and son as they face imminent death. Realizing his son intends to keep following him, Vegeta attempts to outpace Future Trunks, but he matches his speed by transforming into a Super Saiyan, which doesn't surprise Vegeta, given Future Trunks is his son. Meanwhile, Gohan carries Yajirobe, Bulma, and Baby Trunks slowly on the way to Goku. Tien, Piccolo, and Krillin arrive near North City in the mountains and decide to split up in search of Dr. Gero's lab. Krillin proposes dividing the remaining 6 sensu beans among themselves, and everyone agrees. Meanwhile, Vegeta tells Future Trunks to stop following him, but Trunks insists on helping his father to fight the androids. Trunks also vows to fight Vegeta if he tries to activate the androids himself. Vegeta scoffs at the remark though, believing that a true Saiyan Saiyan would be eager to face the androids upon hearing of their power. Down below, Dr. Gero, choosing a discreet approach, is confident that the Z-Fighters will struggle to locate his lab. Not long after, Gero finally reaches his lab and enters the cave where it's hidden. Just before entering though, he notices Krillin watching him, though the doctor underestimates his abilities and proceeds to unlock the lab's door, claiming that even if Krillin calls for help, it'll be too late. Krillin then releases his energy, catching the attention of Piccolo, Tien, Vegeta, and Trunks. Inside the lab, Dr. Gero expresses his reluctance to activate androids 17 and 18, but he feels compelled to do so now, hoping he's resolved the issues they previously had. Gero activates 17 while holding his shutdown remote switch, which the android keeps an eye on as he politely greets his master. Gero is relieved to see that 17 appears to be functioning correctly and proceeds to activate 18 as well. To his surprise, she also displays politeness towards Gero, but eyes the remote as well, courtesy of android 17. 18 notices that Gero has turned himself into an android, and the doctor briefly points out his pursuit of eternal life. Gero then states that his creation's demeanors are a relief, as he'd been too preoccupied with their infinite energy reactor, leading to their disobedience in the past. He then informs the two that the Z-Fighters are approaching and orders them to kill them all, to which they agree. As the Z-Fighters attempt to breach the lab door, android 17 seizes the opportunity to snatch the remote from Gero, crushing it to ensure they won't be put to sleep again. Piccolo, outside the lab, hears Gero giving orders to 17, and the group realizes with horror that the androids have now been activated. Impatient, Vegeta insists on breaking down the door. Future Trunks advises against it and suggests waiting until Goku recovers, but Vegeta disregards the warning, blasting the door and destroying it. The androids observe the Z-Fighters, and Vegeta questions Future Trunks on if these are the ones they're looking for. Future Trunks confirms their identity, and as Krillin begins to wonder why they're considered a threat, Trunks warns everyone not to underestimate them. Dr. Gero instructs androids 17 and 18 to eliminate the Z-Fighters, revealing that they've previously destroyed android 19 and nearly killed him in the process. 17 questions android 19's energy absorption abilities, and Gero confirms it. 18 then questions if Gero reverted to energy absorption because she and android 17 were too powerful to control. Gero, however, dismisses the topic and yet again orders the androids to kill the Z-Fighters. 17, however, surprises Gero by asserting that they'll kill the Z-Fighters on their own terms. Gero is shocked, and his agitation increases as android 18 begins investigating a chamber labeled 16. She inquires about the android inside, and Gero tells her to back off. Future Trunks is unfamiliar with android 16, and android 17 insists on activating him, which Gero opposes, considering 16 a failure that could destroy the entire planet. As the androids argue amongst themselves, Krillin suggests escaping, and Vegeta tells him to leave, believing he's the only one capable of destroying the androids anyway. Android 17 boasts of having a higher power level than 16 and urges android 18 to activate him, resulting in Gero threatening to deactivate them all, although he's reminded that his remote was destroyed. 18 begins to flip the switch to activate android 16, and as Dr. Gero screams in frustration at his disobedient creations, android 17 punches him through the chest from behind, shocking Piccolo and Krillin. As 17 rips his arm from Gero, the doctor tries to talk to his creation, but the android decapitates him with a kick to the neck. Gero's head rolls toward the Z-Fighters, and he insults 17 as a worthless piece of junk. The android wastes no time though, as he then destroys Gero's head, and the Z-Fighters witness this gruesome scene. Android 17 insists on activating android 16, but unwilling to give another android a chance to surface, Trunks desperately unleashes a powerful blast as a Super Saiyan, surprising the Z-Fighters and destroying Gero's lab. Amidst the destruction, Vegeta tells his son from the future that his efforts were a complete waste, as android 17, 18, and the chamber containing android 16 survived the blast, much to everyone's shock. 17 suggests immediately opening the chamber, and with horror, the Z-Fighters watch as android 18 kicks open the chamber, activating android 16. 16 emerges from his chamber, appearing much taller than the other androids. Krillin expresses concern about the current situation, while Future Trunks admits he's never encountered android 16 before and can't estimate how strong he truly is. Android 17 questions 16's feelings after being free for the first time in years, mentioning Dr. Gero's warning that 16 would be a threat to them. Android 18 wants an explanation, but 16 remains silent. 17 playfully wonders if 16 is just a strong silent type, and then questions if his sole purpose is to kill Goku, to which 16 confirms. Although 17 and 18 hate the idea of taking orders from Dr. Gero, they feel the need to preoccupy themselves for the time being and decide killing Goku will be sufficient enough. They then take off into the air, leaving the Z-Fighters puzzled. Although initially relieved, Krillin realizes that Goku's house is the next target for the androids. However, Vegeta is more so focused on the fact that his new enemies ignored him and took off. He then transforms into a Super Saiyan, intending to take on the androids all by himself. Trunks intervenes and tries to reason with Vegeta, urging him to wait until Goku's fully recovered, but Vegeta is stern in his decision despite his son's warning. Vegeta explains that Goku will be his next target after he's dealt with the androids, and as future Trunks attempts to discourage him from charging headfirst to his death, Vegeta gut punches him and takes off. Meanwhile, as the androids land on a mountain road, 17 suggests they enjoy the journey to get to Goku's house by car. 18 teases 17's human-like love for amusement, noting that he too was created from a human male. 17 attempts to relate to 16 on the matter, but the android reveals that he was made robotic from the ground up, which surprises 17. Meanwhile, Vegeta arrives in front of the trio and demands to know the android's destination. 18 discloses their plan to kill Goku at his house, but Vegeta is determined to end them where they stand, although 17 and 18 are especially unfazed. 17 then states that Saiyans think too highly of themselves, and that Vegeta's pride could lead him to an early death if he's not careful. An enraged Vegeta then challenges the androids to face him, and 18 suggests 16 to fight, but he refuses. As a result, 18 herself prepares to battle Vegeta, who dismissively refers to her as a machine rather than a woman, and states he won't be going easy on her. 18 initiates the battle by charging at Vegeta and unleashing a fury of blows, but Vegeta manages to block them all. One of 18's punches narrowly misses Vegeta, and he grabs her arm and throws her into a nearby rock wall. Vegeta charges after her and attacks, missing a punch. 18 then blocks a knee from Vegeta, but he follows up with a punch to the face, sending her flying backwards. Meanwhile, 17 states that Vegeta is much stronger than Dr. Gero's data indicated and is impressed with his fighting abilities. 18 and Vegeta land on the road below, and Vegeta states it's difficult to tell whether androids have taken damage or not. He then extends his arm and says that he'll just blow them to bits so he won't have to see their smiles again. Just then, a truck drives up behind Android 18, and the driver tells her and Vegeta to get out of the road. Vegeta then fires a ki blast at 18, who jumps in the air, resulting in the blast hitting the truck, completely obliterating it along with the driver inside. Vegeta tells 18 she's quicker than he thought, but she replies that he just wasn't using his full power. Vegeta, however, retorts to say that if he did, the Earth wouldn't be able to handle it, and 18 says that she's been holding back as well. The Saiyan Prince urges her to go all out, and she agrees, then charging at Vegeta, headbutting him in the face and drawing blood. Vegeta charges at the android and punches her in the stomach. However, 18 is unaffected and knees Vegeta in the chest before knocking him into a nearby wall. Shortly after, future Trunks, Piccolo, Tien, and Krillin arrive, and Trunks inquires if Vegeta is okay. Vegeta then climbs out of the hole created by his impact and calls the four of them pests, rhetorically asking if they believe they actually stand a chance against 18. From a distance, Android 17 notices the group arrive and states that 18 can't take them all on by herself, so he'll have to lend a hand. He then inquires of 16 if he'll help, but the android says he won't. 17 playfully teases him and wonders why he was created, to which 16 states once again it's to kill Goku. 17 begins to walk toward the Z Fighters, and future Trunks tells Vegeta that they need to run, stating his pride is no good if he dies, although Vegeta refuses once again. 18 mockingly tells Vegeta he can leave, but the Saiyan Prince states that he's about to finish her off, and that he would rather die alone than accept help from any of the Z Fighters. 17 mockingly claps at Vegeta's speech and says he's a true Saiyan Prince, but Vegeta states he doesn't need a puppet's praise. 17 then tells the other Z Fighters not to interfere with the fight between 18 and Vegeta, otherwise he'll have to step in as well. The fight resumes as 18 charges toward Vegeta, punching him in the face and sending him flying. 18 pursues, but Vegeta kicks off of a nearby rock wall and hits 18, sending her flying backwards into another one. Vegeta then quickly fires a Big Bang attack, and as 18 begins to emerge from the rubble, she's unable to dodge it. Vegeta then flies toward the explosion, and when the smoke clears, 18 is still standing, although her clothes appear to be damaged from the attack. Vegeta lands in front of her and notes she isn't phased at all. 18 then removes her jacket and states she didn't think any organic being could fight like Vegeta, and questions if Goku is even stronger. Vegeta of course replies that he's not, prompting 18 to state she doesn't have to worry about either of them then, infuriating Vegeta. The Saiyan attempts to attack 18 from the side, but she blocks it, as well as a fury of additional attacks from him. Tien on the sidelines roots for Vegeta, while the rest of the Z Fighters watch silently, impressed. Android 17 seems amused by the battle, and future Trunks is surprised at his father's strength, noting that he can hold his own against Android 18. However, Piccolo doesn't share Trunks' optimism and says that Vegeta will be killed, which surprises Trunks and Krillin. Piccolo says that Vegeta is losing stamina while 18's power remains seemingly infinite, and just then 18 manages to sweep Vegeta's legs and punches him in the face as he attempts to get up, angering Trunks in the distance. She then follows this up with a kick to Vegeta's left arm and breaks it in the process. Seeing this, Trunks is enraged and turns Super Saiyan, attempting to fly toward the battle to help his father. Piccolo angrily calls him an idiot and 17 chases after him, just as he had promised to those who intervened. Seeing this, Piccolo and Tien fly toward the battle as well. 18 notices future Trunks approaching and blocks his sword strike. Trunks is then hit in the back by Android 17 and collapses to the ground. Krillin, watching the battle from afar, is stunned that a Super Saiyan was defeated in one shot. Android 17 then notices Piccolo coming toward him and kicks the Namekian in midair, then flies up to Tien and puts him in a headlock. Having gotten back up, Vegeta attempts to fly towards 17 and Tien, but 18 grabs his foot. As 17 chokes Tien, Trunks gets up and runs toward 18, who swings Vegeta into him, sending them both to the ground. Piccolo gets up and is surprised to see two Super Saiyans down, and then notices 17 still choking Tien. The Namekian dashes towards 17, who lets Tien fall, dodges Piccolo's punch, then delivers a strong blow to his chest. Still standing frozen, Krillin watches in horror as 17 lets Piccolo fall. Vegeta attempts a sneak attack by firing a ki blast at 18 with his good arm, but she dodges the blast and flies over to Vegeta. She punches him in the face, sending him to the ground again, and Vegeta tries to get back up, only to be kicked by Android 18 in the stomach, rolling him on his back. 18 then states as extra insurance, she'll break Vegeta's other arm too. She puts the heel of her boot on Vegeta's good arm and pushes down, breaking it as the Saiyan yells in pain and loses consciousness. 17 notes that Vegeta's hair has changed and his glow is gone, and 18 notes the same of future Trunks. 17 then wonders who future Trunks is, as they have no data on him, but he quickly says it doesn't matter. He and 18 then fly back to the road and land near Krillin, frightening him. 17 tells him that the others are still alive and that he should feed them some sensu beans right away. He then tells a speechless Krillin that they'll fight the Z Fighters again whenever they feel up to it. 17 turns to leave, and 18 wonders if he'll inquire about Goku's location, although 17 states it'll be more fun to find him on their own, and says that maybe even Goku will look for them. The pair then meet up with Android 16, who's still nearby, looking off into the distance. 17 wonders what he's looking at, and 16 simply states that the birds flew away because they were too noisy. 17 seems confused by this, and 18 suggests they fly to somewhere where more cars will pass by. Krillin in the distance watches all of this, still stunned at all he recently witnessed. The androids decide to head to the nearest town or village, but before they leave, Krillin rushes to catch up with them, asking them to wait. 17 questions his intentions, and Krillin questions whether they only want to kill Goku or take over the world. 17 clarifies that their current goal is to eliminate Goku, and that they'll decide what to do afterward. Krillin wonders why they want to kill Goku, pointing out that it was Dr. Gero who held the grudge against him in the first place. However, 17 explains that Goku is the Earth's strongest being, and their actions are merely a game, which is why they didn't bother asking Krillin about Goku's whereabouts. Krillin then questions if they would spare Goku if he begged for his life, but Android 16 responds that their purpose is to kill Goku, so they wouldn't be swayed even if he pleaded. 17 again tells Krillin to get the sensu beans to his friends before they die, but before leaving, 18 surprises Krillin with a kiss on his cheek, and the androids depart. Krillin snaps out of it and provides sensu beans to Piccolo, Tien, future Trunks, and Vegeta. Piccolo is amazed that the androids knew about sensu beans, and Tien wonders why the androids spared them instead of finishing them off. Piccolo speculates that the androids didn't see them as a significant threat and acknowledges their strength, while Vegeta is visibly upset and flies off without explanation. Piccolo advises the others not to follow him, understanding that it'd be more of a blow to his pride. Krillin apologizes for not being much help during the fight, but Piccolo cuts him some slack, believing that it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Tien then adds that even with Goku, they don't stand much of a chance as he isn't much stronger than Trunks and Vegeta. Trunks then reveals that the androids in this timeline are stronger than the ones in his timeline, stating that they had such devastating physical strength, it was hard for him to stand up to them. As the group planned to move Goku to a safer location, Krillin questions Piccolo about his intentions and urges him to share his plan as their friends. However, Piccolo angrily responds that he doesn't consider them friends and that he still harbors his sinister intentions to take over the world. He then unexpectedly flies off, surprising Tien, who thought Piccolo had changed. Krillin, however, calls Piccolo's bluff and figures the Namekian is secretly strategizing. Tien inquires for clarification, and Krillin suggests that Piccolo may be heading to the lookout to fuse with Kami, a move that he wouldn't make unless he truly had no other choice, given his hatred for Kami. Tien notes that the Dragon Balls would likely vanish if either Piccolo or Kami dies, but Krillin points out that they would disappear anyway if the androids succeed in their plans. Trunks questions Vegeta's intentions, nearly calling him dad, prompting Krillin to reveal that everyone except Vegeta knows Trunks' true identity. Tien speculates that Vegeta isn't the type to run from battle and will likely devise a new powerful attack to take on the androids, and meanwhile, Vegeta flies through the mountains, vowing to take the androids on himself. As Krillin, Tien, and Trunks head to Goku's house, Krillin questions the expected recovery time for Goku, and Trunks estimates it could be as little as 10 days. Krillin believes they can remain hidden during that period, and feels relief that the androids don't have some sort of tracker to locate Goku. Meanwhile, at Goku's house, Chi-Chi frantically searches for the heart medicine to aid her husband and eventually finds it. Yamcha administers the medicine to Goku, and he shows signs of improvement, much to their relief. Chi-Chi then questions Gohan's whereabouts, and Yamcha nervously claims that he must be out playing somewhere. Meanwhile, Piccolo reaches Korin's tower and ascends, observed by Korin. Above, Kami and Mr. Popo sense Piccolo's energy and witness him arrive, donning a new cape and turban before landing. Upon landing at the lookout, Piccolo glares angrily at Kami, who returns the same intense gaze while Mr. Popo watches anxiously. Piccolo hints that Kami probably knows why he's here, and Kami acknowledges that his thoughts are easy to discern, given he and Piccolo's father were once a merged being long ago. Kami states he never imagined a day would come when they would be reunited, to which Piccolo retorts that this fusion won't result in equality. He explains that it's merely a means to make him stronger, and Kami's only purpose as of now is making sure the Dragon Balls stay active. Mr. Popo attempts to intervene, but Kami stops him, admitting that Piccolo is right, as he feels powerless against the androids, even so with Goku's eventual recovery. Reluctantly, Kami agrees to fuse with Piccolo, but insists on waiting for some time to see how events play out. This angers Piccolo, as he demands to know the reason for the delay. Kami explains that he wants to be sure if the androids pose a threat to the Earth. Piccolo argues that the recent battle is evidence enough, but Kami counters, blaming the Z fighters for starting it. Piccolo reminds him of the androids' destruction in future Trunks' timeline, but Kami believes these androids are different. Piccolo calls Kami a coward and declares he'll remain at the lookout until he changes his mind, but the damage done to Earth may be irreversible upon his final decision. Meanwhile, in the northern mountains, the androids spot a Lucky Foods van on the road. When the van stops, the androids approach, and the workers become frightened as Android 16 lifts and empties the entire van. The androids then leave, with 17 planning to head to Goku's house. However, 18 insists on getting new clothes first, and 17 agrees to accommodate her request. Tien decides to check in with Chaozu first, but promises to return before things escalate with the androids, although he doubts he'll be much help. Krillin suggests moving Goku to Kame House to avoid approaching the androids, and future Trunks wonders why history has changed so drastically. They arrive at Goku's house, and Krillin questions if the androids are really as bad as they're made out to be, as he thinks about his kiss from Android 18 on the road. Chi-Chi opens the door, curious about future Trunks' identity, but Yamcha comes around the corner, happy to see his friends alive. Krillin then questions Goku's condition, and Yamcha reveals that he's administered the medicine to the Saiyan and that he's asleep. Krillin then tells Yamcha and Chi-Chi that they need to move Goku to safety, as there are 3 additional androids who are coming this way, and are even stronger than numbers 19 and 20. The group then decide to transport Goku in a capsule plane and wait for Gohan. When Gohan arrives, he questions the situation, and Krillin promises to explain everything during the flight. While traveling on the airplane to Kame House, Krillin informs Yamcha, Gohan, and Chi-Chi about the immense power of the new androids, stating that they consider killing Goku a mere game to them. Concerned, Yamcha inquires of a plan of action, but Krillin admits he's uncertain. Trunks proposes going further back in time to destroy the androids before their activation, as they now know the location of Dr. Gero's lab. Yamcha finds this plan reasonable, but Krillin worries that Trunks may not have enough energy to return to his own timeline afterward. Gohan wonders if the current androids will disappear if the past is altered, but future Trunks clarifies that only the timeline he travels to would be affected, creating new futures. Krillin and Yamcha then question Trunks' trip to their timeline, and he explains that he was settling for seeking the android's weakness to use in his own time, or trying to bring Goku to his timeline to finish the androids himself. He acknowledges that this timeline is different from his own, and Gohan questions why things have changed so much. Future Trunks admits he doesn't know, but Chi-Chi reassures him that his journey has saved Goku's life, and they all believe that things will work out for the best. Meanwhile, Vegeta, still fuming over his defeat at the hands of 18, stands alone in the mountains. Transforming into a Super Saiyan, he unleashes his power and destroys nearby rock formations, questioning how he, a Super Saiyan, could be defeated by the likes of androids so casually. After a moment of reflection though, Vegeta snaps out of his self-loathing and vows to surpass each and every one of the androids and defeat Goku once they're taken care of. In another scene, the androids continue driving in the Lucky Foods van. 18 questions 17 if he knows the location of Goku's house, and he replies that they'll find it eventually. 16 chimes in with coordinates, suggesting that they can get there quickly by flying, and while 18 agrees with this approach, 17 insists on taking the scenic route, finding joy in the lack of productivity. captivity. Back on the capsule airplane, Krillin is tasked with calling Bulma to update her on the situation. Krillin expresses reluctance, mentioning to future Trunks that his mother tends to be harsh with people. Trunks confirms that she's the same way in the future, and Krillin calls Bulma, who immediately reprimands him for not calling sooner. Bulma then questions if future Trunks is present, to which Krillin confirms, and Bulma requests to speak with him. She informs Trunks that a farmer discovered a peculiar Capsule Corporation vehicle in the wilderness, seeking help to operate it. The company couldn't identify the vehicle based on the farmer's description, so they asked for a photo. To future Trunks' shock, the photo was described to be his time machine, damaged and covered in moss. He recounts that there was only one time machine made in the future though, and his Bulma barely managed to construct that. Present Bulma then decides to fax the picture to future Trunks for further examination, and he's shocked to see it's as she says, his exact time machine, duplicated, damaged, and in the middle of nowhere. Trunks inquires for the machine's exact location, and Bulma states she doesn't know the precise area, but she provides the approximate coordinates. Eager to witness it himself, future Trunks decides to go, with Bulma agreeing to meet him there since it's near Capsule Corp. Yamcha questions if there's really only one time machine, and future Trunks confirms there is. Gohan offers to accompany Trunks as well, and he happily accepts. During their flight to meet Bulma, Gohan questions the devastation in future Trunks' world. Trunks explains the dire situation, with a decimated population, destroyed West City, and people forced to live in underground shelters. Gohan hopes they can discover the android's weakness, and future Trunks speculates that Dr. Gero might have a way to control them using an emergency shutoff switch. Upon arriving at the specified location, Gohan scouts the area and finds the time machine. Bulma then arrives, and future Trunks presents his time machine to her and reveals that she had only made one of them in the future. He then uncovers a message his Bulma left on the second time machine reading Hope, and he and Gohan inspect the machine and notice a melted cockpit window, suggesting something powerful was inside. The group then finds some sort of eggshell in the time machine, and Trunks falls silent as Gohan deduces whatever made the hole could have potentially came out of the egg. Future Trunks then turns the time machine on and learns whatever traveled here came from age 788, 3 years after he left. The machine had been present for 4 years, meaning when future Trunks arrived to meet Goku and the others, it had already been around for a full year, leading him to wonder if this event was the cause of the significant changes in history. Meanwhile, Kame becomes agitated while observing from the lookout, and Piccolo mocks him for spying, mentioning they'll be fusing soon. Kame expresses concern about what came from the time machine, hinting at a powerful creature on Earth that surpasses even the androids. Piccolo demands an explanation, and Kame states that fusing may be the only hope for the upcoming crisis. Meanwhile, future Trunks explains that they can't leave the second time machine in its current state, so he compresses it into a capsule and does the same with his own time machine. Bulma takes the eggshell they found in the time machine, and Gohan informs her that they're headed to Kame House because the androids are after Goku, who's still recovering. Bulma wonders why they don't just gang up to defeat the androids, but future Trunks reveals that the androids already defeated them. Bulma questions if Vegeta came out alright, and Trunks informs her that he's okay thanks to the Sensu, but went out on his own, unwilling to work with anyone else. Suddenly, Gohan notices something strange in the distance and calls Bulma and future Trunks over. Upon arriving at Gohan's location, they find a giant husk resembling a molting insect. Future Trunks speculates that the insect hatched from the egg in the time machine, and the gooey husk indicates that it molted recently. This discovery makes the group uneasy, and they decide to leave to investigate elsewhere. Although Bulma decides to head home, Trunks then asking himself what's going on, as none of the events taking place make any sense. Meanwhile, the androids stop at a town, where 18 tries on some clothes and leaves without paying. The androids get noticed by the police and engage in a high-speed chase, but 18 rips the engine out of the police car, sending the occupants crashing down a plateau. Meanwhile, at the lookout, Kame becomes nervous, and Piccolo questions the connection between this event and the time machine Kame mentioned earlier. At the same time, Bulma hears a news report about Ginger Town, where all contact has been lost and the residents have mysteriously disappeared. Bulma realizes that Ginger Town is close to where they found the second time machine, adding to the Z Fighters' growing concerns. Concerned about the alarming news broadcast she's witnessing, Bulma contacts Kame House from her airplane. Krillin answers and informs her that Gohan and Trunks haven't returned yet, and Bulma instructs Krillin to turn their television to channel 872. Krillin, Yamcha, and Master Roshi follow her instructions and watch a report about the people of Ginger Town, whose clothes were found abandoned. The report indicates that the entire population has vanished, apparently after a struggle with something. Krillin suspects the androids are responsible, but Bulma disagrees disagrees, deciding to wait for Gohan and Trunks to provide more information upon their return. Soon after, Gohan and Trunks come back and join the group and notice they're laser focused on the news broadcast. They witness police officers shooting at an unseen threat in the background. However, the shooting stops abruptly as the cameraman appears terrified, desperately calling for help between channels before the signal cuts out. At the lookout, Piccolo questions Kami about what he sees on Earth. Kami responds cryptically, suggesting that Piccolo will understand once they merge. Surprised by Kami's willingness, Piccolo is eager to fuse, but emphasizes that he'll become the dominant mind in their merger. Kami agrees and offers to grant Piccolo his power and knowledge, although Mr. Popo is hesitant, unwilling to lose his friend of many years. Kami asserts that the Earth isn't in need of a god at this point, but a strong warrior, and Piccolo has changed drastically over the years, casting out the evil from his heart. Kami thanks Mr. Popo for all he's done for him, and he and Piccolo fuse, creating a magnificent explosion of light. Now a new being, the fused Namekian declares that he is neither Piccolo nor Kami, but a Namekian who's forgotten his original name. Back at Kame House, Future Trunks believes that the creature hatched from the egg they found is responsible for the problems in Ginger Town, and decides to go and investigate. Gohan insists on joining him, leading to objections from Chi-Chi. However, Future Trunks persuades them to stay behind and protect Goku from the androids, assuring them that he can handle the situation. Meanwhile, Piccolo arrives in an empty Ginger Town and quickly spots the mysterious creature, which he refers to as the monster he's been wondering about. However, the bug-like monster's initial key emanates a power that surprises Piccolo. While the monster has the richest man in Ginger Town captive, the man pleads for Piccolo's assistance, offering him anything in return. Piccolo refuses to be swayed by the man's offer, but stands firm, stating that every life holds value, even if it's as worthless as his. He commands the monster to release the man, and it seemingly obeys by letting him go. However, the monster suddenly impales the man with his tail and absorbs him, leaving Piccolo shocked and disturbed. In the aftermath, the monster makes a chilling revelation, speaking Piccolo's name and surprising the Namekian. The monster then powers up immensely and claims to be Piccolo's brother. Meanwhile at Kame House, Future Trunks, Gohan, Yamcha, and Krillin sense the monster's energy and are taken aback. They recognize elements of various familiar energies, including Frieza, King Cold, Goku, Piccolo, and even Vegeta. Despite the confusion, Trunks still decides to head to Ginger Town to investigate, as he's curious about what kind of villain they're dealing with. Elsewhere, Vegeta, Tien, and Chaozu also sense the monster's presence and wonder about the situation. Back at Ginger Town, Piccolo demands answers from the creature about his identity and intentions, although it states he doesn't need to know such things. As tensions rise, Piccolo asserts that he will defeat the monster, even if he remains ignorant of his foe's past. However, the creature remains undeterred, and Piccolo tells him that he's got the wrong person, as the two engage in a confrontation with their powers on full display. The creature questions if he's actually got the wrong person, and Piccolo tells him he's catching on. As Krillin and Trunks fly toward Ginger Town, Trunks senses another powerful key, but doesn't know who it belongs to. Krillin quickly recognizes it as Piccolo's and states that he must have finally merged with Kami. Trunks is surprised, then noting the difference made by the fusion and thinking to himself how he never dreamed Piccolo would become so powerful. Back in Ginger Town, Piccolo says it's convenient that the monster killed all of the residents already, as now he doesn't have to hold back. He then hits the monster with a massive ki blast and creates an explosion within the city, shocking Future Trunks and Krillin, who feel the shockwave in the distance. Trunks wonders what happened, and Krillin notes that the battle must have begun. Meanwhile, the androids are out driving when 17 suddenly stops the car. He and 18 get out, and 17 wonders if she felt a huge shudder in the air. 18 says that she did, and 16 says it came from the outskirts of West City. He then says that two powerful ki are fighting, prompting 17 to ask why 16 never told them he was equipped with sensors. 16, however, replies that he never asked. 17 questions who's fighting, but 16 states he doesn't know, as neither of them are in his databanks. He goes on to say though that one of them rivals 17 and 18 in power, which shocks the two. Unwilling to accept the statement, 17 says that 16's sensors are malfunctioning, as no one rivals him in power, and the androids decide to continue onward. Back at Ginger Town, Piccolo charges at the monster. The creature swipes at Piccolo and misses, and Piccolo kicks him in the back. The creature lands and regains his composure, but Piccolo quickly kicks him into the air once again. When the creature lands, Piccolo questions if that's all he's got, and he says that Piccolo isn't a bad fighter, but he hasn't yet reached his perfect form. Piccolo wonders if that's why the creature's been attacking people, and the monster confirms that he's been extracting their lives for energy. Piccolo then angrily demands to know who sent him in the time machine, and the monster reveals that he sent himself after reverting to his egg form due to the machine's small size. He then states his surprise that Piccolo knew about the time machine, but says that he won't won't be able to anticipate his next move. The monster then begins to do a Kamehameha, shocking Piccolo when he recognizes the stance. As the creature readies itself to unleash a Kamehameha attack, Piccolo is taken aback, puzzled by how it's familiar with the technique. Without warning, the creature releases the energy blast, catching Piccolo off guard as he witnesses the authentic attack. Piccolo evades the attack by leaping into the air, but unexpectedly, the creature surprises Piccolo with an ambush, ensnaring him from behind and immobilizing his limbs. With a sinister tone, the creature claims victory and thrusts its tail towards Piccolo's chest, but he manages to move slightly and the tail pierces the Namekian's arm, sapping his energy. Before the situation worsens, Piccolo headbutts the creature and breaks free. However, his left arm is now withered and useless, much to the creature's satisfaction. The creature taunts Piccolo, asserting that a single arm won't be sufficient enough to defeat it, and Piccolo agrees, admitting his inability to win in his current state, and acknowledges the creature's victory. The creature then announces that it'll soon complete its evolution by absorbing Piccolo's life force, but seeking closure, Piccolo implores the creature to reveal its origins, more specifically how it possesses Goku and Frieza's abilities and the Kamehameha technique. Yielding to Piccolo's final wish, the creature discloses its identity as Cell, an artificial life form created by Dr. Giro's computer. Cell's creation involved the fusion of cells from renowned fighters, including Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta, obtained 3 years prior. Cell explains the gaps in his power, attributing them to the age of Goku's cells used. He elaborates on his composition, mentioning samples taken from Frieza and King Cold, but excluding future Trunks due to an ample supply of Saiyan cells already. Piccolo questions how the cells were collected, and Cell recounts the method through small spy robots, pointing out one in real time that Piccolo angrily destroys. Unfazed, Cell states that destroying the spy robot meant nothing, as the research is well underway, but won't be completed for another 24 years in the future. Piccolo states it's impossible as Giro's lab was destroyed, but Cell reveals the computer compiling the data resides in an underground bunker beneath the lab itself. Piccolo questions why Cell waited 3 years after arriving to go from an egg to his current state, and he clarifies it was essential for his mutation. Just about ready to absorb the Namekian, Piccolo inquires on one last thing concerning Cell's motive for traveling through time. Cell then reveals his pursuit of androids 17 and 18 for assimilation into his perfect form, a quest interrupted by future Trunks in his timeline as the Saiyan had defeated 17 and 18. In Cell's timeline, he killed future Trunks and stole his time machine to journey to the past where Trunks had already set coordinates, answering Piccolo's question on why Cell chose to come to their era. Piccolo, grasping the situation, theorizes that Trunks intended to return and let everyone know that he defeated the androids, but he was killed before he could do so. Cell then discloses his ambition for unparalleled power upon completion, emphasizing his role as the most powerful entity in the universe. Piccolo expresses gratitude for the revelations, then suddenly rips off his arm, swiftly regenerating a fresh one, leaving Cell astounded. Cell realizes that the questions were a ruse to stall him, to which Piccolo reminds the monster of his regenerative abilities and states that he won't allow him to reach his perfect form. Cell, while impressed by Piccolo's tactics, realizes he fell for the Namekian's clever ploy. Piccolo reveals that the idea came from Kami's mind, indicating that Kami and Piccolo have fused once again, explaining Piccolo's enhanced power. Additionally, Cell deduces that the fusion has turned the Dragon Balls to stone, rendering them useless for revival purposes. Suddenly, Krillin and future Trunks arrive at the scene, observing the monstrous Cell with shock. Trunks recalls the egg he discovered earlier, which must have hatched into Cell. Cell realizes that Trunks must have used the time machine to travel to this era as well. However, he vows to kill him again, just as he did once in the future. As Krillin and Trunks get a closer look at Cell's face, they're shocked. Krillin questions if Cell was responsible for the massacre in Ginger Town, a fact confirmed by Piccolo. Krillin questions the familiarity of Goku's energy in Cell, which Piccolo states he'll explain later, as killing Cell is all that matters right now. Although Cell states that defeating him won't be so easy, Piccolo asserts that the monster doesn't stand a chance of beating them, especially with his weaker version of Goku's Kamehameha. Krillin's shocked to learn that Cell can perform the technique, and the monster confirms, calling Krillin by name and stating he could probably create a spirit bomb as well. Surprised, Krillin wonders how Cell knows his name and states Goku will be surprised when he hears about this, piquing the monster's interest as he wasn't aware Goku is still alive in this timeline. Cell then exclaims that he'll do whatever it takes to absorb androids 17 and 18, and if Piccolo's the best chance Earth has for survival, they have no hope of winning. Cell then unexpectedly triggers a solar flare, blinding his opponents and making his getaway. Confused, Piccolo says he thought the solar flare was Tien's technique, but Krillin tells him it's not hard to pull off, and that he and Goku can do it too. Although Piccolo pursues, Cell reduces his ki to avoid detection. As Cell moves through the woodland area, he states his plans to absorb more humans for their bioenergy, thus giving him enough power to defeat 17 and 18 and force them to merge with him. Additionally, Cell expresses his past concerns with Dr. Gero's shutdown switch, but states that he doesn't need to worry about it anymore as the switch no longer exists. Soon after, he notices Vegeta flying toward the location he just left and hides. Surprised that the Saiyan hasn't been killed by 17 and 18, Cell figures he should hasten his plans to absorb civilians, especially considering Vegeta was stronger than he expected. Vegeta, who had noticed the rising ki in the distance, decided to check out the situation. He notes that one of the two high battle powers he sent had suddenly disappeared, but one of them were still on the scene. He questions whether the power could belong to one of the androids, but then says it couldn't be, as they didn't have a presence at all. Meanwhile, Piccolo powers up in anger as Cell managed to slip through his fingers. Krillin and Trunks marvel at Piccolo's amazing power, and Vegeta then appears, shocked as well, and powers down to his base form. As Vegeta descends to meet the group, he demands an answer to what happened moments ago. Piccolo offers to explain to everyone once Tien arrives, and while they wait, Vegeta questions how Piccolo increased his battle power so drastically in such a short amount of time. Trunks reveals he merged with Kami to become stronger, and Vegeta thinks to himself, stating how Piccolo's power surpassed his own, even as a Super Saiyan. Piccolo meanwhile tries to think of a strategy, as he knows the combined power of androids 16, 17, and 18 will be too much for him to handle alone. As Tien lands, Piccolo then explains everything he knows about the situation at hand and about Cell himself, shocking the group. Meanwhile, Cell arrives in a town, declaring to surpass the strength of 17 and 18 in a few days and absorb them both. Piccolo concludes his explanation to the group, then states that their options are to find Cell and kill him or track down 17 and 18 and kill them instead. As the group sit in shock given everything they've just heard, Vegeta thinks to himself that the strength of the Super Saiyans are being left in the dust, referencing Goku, who's still shown to be in recovery. Cell's escape prompts Krillin to wonder how they'll be able to defeat him, while Trunks raises concerns about Cell attacking innocents while suppressing his ki. Tien emphasizes the need to stop Cell's fusion with Android 17 and 18, and Piccolo points out that if Cell were to become perfect, it would mean the destruction of other worlds as well, given he's got Frieza and King Cold's DNA in him. Vegeta then suggests a controversial plan, allowing Cell to merge with the androids to save him the trouble of tracking them all down. Piccolo counters Vegeta's arrogance by reminding him of his past failure against the androids. This angers the Saiyan though, leading him to declare his intent to surpass the level of a Super Saiyan and threatening Piccolo. Vegeta departs, leaving Piccolo pondering whether going beyond Super Saiyan is really possible. Krillin questions future Trunks about altering the timeline by eliminating the androids in the past, but Trunks states that it would be ineffective as it would help the future of that era, but it wouldn't affect them here. However, he proposes destroying Dr. Gero's lab in the present to prevent a new Cell from emerging. Piccolo assigns this task to Krillin and Trunks while he and Tien hunt down Cell, and the two take off, Trunks thinking to himself if going beyond Super Saiyan is actually possible. The pair locate the lab's basement, discovering Dr. Gero's supercomputer and Cell in a larval state. Just as Krillin prepares to destroy the basement, future Trunks stumbles upon blueprints for Android 17. He keeps the blueprints for his mother with the hope that she'll be able to find a weakness in the androids, and destroys the lab with Krillin. Future Trunks tells Krillin to deliver the blueprints to Bulma, explaining his plan to train with Vegeta despite expecting refusal. Trunks believes Vegeta will realize the benefits of collaborative training over training alone, and although Krillin's skeptical, he wishes Trunks the best of luck as he flies off to deliver the blueprints. Meanwhile, Tien senses a minor energy disturbance, prompting him and Piccolo to investigate a nearby town. They find a deserted city with abandoned clothes, indicating Cell's recent attack. Cell, concealed on a nearby rooftop, deems their pursuit futile, and at Capsule Corporation, Bulma and Dr. Brief analyze the blueprints provided by Krillin. Bulma explains that the androids are primarily bioorganic, with minimal cybernetic components, a fact Cell believes makes fusion feasible. She suggests that the cybernetic parts may hold the key to the android's vulnerability, and she and Dr. Brief get to work as quickly as possible. 3 days pass before Cell strikes the South District. Learning of the attack, Yamcha, Gohan, Krillin, Tien, and Piccolo opt for inconspicuous travel by plane to avoid arousing suspicion by Cell. Meanwhile, Chi-Chi walks in on Goku, who's now fully recovered and starts to get dressed, preparing for battle and up to date on the current situation thanks to the collective discussions he heard in his dreams. Despite Chi-Chi's protests, Goku reassures her that he won't immediately engage in battle, reserving his strength to push himself even further to a level beyond Super Saiyan. Master Roshi questions Goku on whether surpassing the Super Saiyan threshold is actually possible. In response, Goku confesses his uncertainty, revealing his intention to train for a whole year in order to power up. This idea prompts Master Roshi to question the availability of a year's time, and Goku discloses his knowledge of a location where a year's training can be condensed into a single day, then seeking Chi-Chi's permission to bring Gohan along. Chi-Chi conveys her initial thought to decline, but concedes that Goku would just do it anyway. Goku departs via instant transmission and joins the other Z fighters on the aircraft. It's a happy reunion, yet Goku conveys his realization that at his current power level, he isn't strong enough to defeat the androids or Cell. He announces his plan to train with Gohan for a year within a single day, referencing the hyperbolic time chamber. Piccolo recognizes the challenge this presents, considering Goku's struggle as a kid to last even a month in the chamber. Nonetheless, Goku decides to include Vegeta and future Trunks in the training as well, figuring they can handle it too. When questioned about his emotions regarding foes stronger than Frieza, Goku admits to being both scared and excited for the fight. He and Gohan then teleport away, leaving Krillin and Tien optimistic considering Goku's demeanor. Goku and Gohan then appear where Vegeta and future Trunks are training. Arriving at the scene, they find Trunks sitting while Vegeta stands alone on a ledge. Trunks reveals his father's refusal to train with him, perceiving him as nothing but a nuisance. He reveals that Vegeta's been doing nothing but standing still for the past 3 days, prompting Goku to state that he's thinking over his battle strategy. Goku introduces the concept of the hyperbolic time chamber to Vegeta, who agrees to enter with future Trunks on the condition that he gets to use it first, and Goku readily accepts. Meanwhile, the androids search for Goku at his house, but find no one's there. 17 consults 16 for potential locations and narrows it down to Capsule Corporation or Kame House. Opting for the closer option, 16 states it would be Kame House, and the group decide to head there. At the lookout, Mr. Popo guides the Z fighters to the hyperbolic time chamber. Vegeta questions Goku's motive for introducing him to this place, given Vegeta's long-term plan to kill him. Goku, however, justifies the necessity of teamwork against their current foes, and Vegeta expresses he might come to regret this decision, but enters the time chamber with Trunks. Inside, Trunks notes the environment is hot, with thin air and high gravity, while Vegeta views the conditions as the perfect setting for their training. Trunks questions whether he'll be able to spend an entire year under these conditions with Vegeta, and meanwhile, Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin continue their search for Cell, who's masked his energy once more, proving their aircraft method to be useless. Piccolo acknowledges that Cell's strength has probably grown much higher in the past few days, and states the need for the Saiyans to transcend their Super Saiyan forms in order to defeat the androids. A day passes, and Piccolo monitors news of Cell's attacks on TV, growing increasingly agitated. Suddenly, he hears something outside and is surprised to see the androids standing outside of Kame House. 16 confirms Goku's absence, and Piccolo wakes the others, leading 17 to demand Goku's whereabouts. Undeterred, Piccolo states he won't give up that information and challenges 17, suggesting an uninhabited island as their battleground. As Piccolo and the androids depart, Krillin hopes that Piccolo can hold out until the Saiyans return, and meanwhile, 17 asserts to killing Piccolo this time if he doesn't give him answers, while the Namekian assures 17 he won't be so easy to defeat this time around. 17 ponders the reason behind Piccolo's actions, speculating that it might be a tactic to stall for time. He then challenges Piccolo, goading him to bring on his best effort. Piccolo is taken aback by 17's willingness to fight alone, and 17 asserts that Piccolo is no match for him in any case. Despite this, Piccolo sees an opportunity in this situation. Even defeating one of the androids would hinder Cell's progression into perfection. With determination, Piccolo intensifies his energy, prompting a surprised reaction from number 16, who remarks that this transformation isn't characteristic of Piccolo at all. Capitalizing on the element of surprise, Piccolo swiftly maneuvers to strike 17 from behind with an elbow, sending him hurtling through the air. Piccolo pursues and delivers a forceful kick, driving the android into the ground. As 17 begins to rise, Piccolo without hesitation readies and fires a powerful blast, detonating a substantial portion of the island. Unfortunately, 17 manages to evade the attack, taking refuge high in the sky. Piccolo spots his opponent and grins deviously, then prepares another offensive move. At the lookout, Goku notices Piccolo's fight and Gohan questions if he's facing Cell. Goku responds that he can't sense their energy, implying that Piccolo's adversary is one of the androids. Gohan expresses concern for Piccolo's safety and intends to rush to his aid, but Goku advises against it, citing the impending arrival of Vegeta and Trunks, who are undergoing training. Goku attests to Piccolo's newfound strength, and meanwhile, Piccolo shoots a bunch of ki blasts, surrounding 17 with small energy orbs, directing them all at once toward his target, resulting in a massive detonation. In the distance, Krillin, Tien, Chi-Chi, and Master Roshi witness the explosion. However, when the smoke dissipates, it becomes evident that 17 used a protective barrier to shield himself. Piccolo displays mild frustration at this outcome, and 17 suggests relocating due to the island's destruction. Simultaneously, Cell wreaks havoc on an office building, detecting a potent key signature, Piccolo's. He deduces that Piccolo must be battling one of the androids as he's using a lot of energy. Cell then declares his intention to reach them promptly, confident that his strength has already surpassed theirs. 17 acknowledges Piccolo's impressive strength despite not being an android, stating he really isn't the same Piccolo he fought before. However, 17 states his primary concern is locating Goku, and he still wants his location. Piccolo, however, remains silent about Goku's whereabouts, prompting 17 to declare his intent to keep fighting until Piccolo changes his mind. He emphasizes getting serious, and as 17 approaches, Piccolo readies himself with a brief surge of energy. 17 strikes Piccolo's face, and Piccolo counters with a swipe, which 17 evades by ducking and subsequently landing a forceful blow to Piccolo's stomach. A swift elbow to Piccolo's neck sends him to the ground, but Piccolo swiftly rises and backflips to evade a sweeping kick from 17. Piccolo cracks his neck and states 17's speed is pretty good, but critiques his punches, stating they have no power. This declaration surprises 17, who finds it hard to believe that a comment like this is directed at him, who's regarded as the mightiest in history. 17 charges at Piccolo, who attempts a chop, but the android leaps over it, positioning himself behind Piccolo. An aerial assault follows, culminating in a blow to Piccolo's back. In response, Piccolo executes a forceful back kick. 17's punch propels Piccolo backward, but he promptly performs a flip to headbutt 17. The impact sends the android airborne, though he manages to stabilize himself, leading to a momentary break in the combat. Android 18 states the two are evenly matched, and both fighters exchange several blows. Meanwhile, Cell approaches in flight, proclaiming that the awaited day for him to attain his perfect form has finally arrived. At Kame House, Krillin, Master Roshi, and Tien observe the ongoing battle from outside. Krillin expresses admiration for Piccolo's performance, while Tien feels frustrated that they can't help him. Suddenly, Krillin senses an approaching presence, which Tien identifies as Cell. Chi-Chi joins them outside and informs Krillin that Bulma is on the phone, revealing that she's identified a weakness in the androids. Bulma informs Krillin that both 17 and 18 were designed with an emergency shutoff switch. If their movement can be halted, they can become vulnerable to destruction, and luckily enough, Bulma was able to replicate the device. Krillin urges Bulma to bring the controller immediately, considering Piccolo's ongoing battle. Bulma agrees, and Tien sees potential in the situation, although Krillin remains uncertain about the prospect of destroying the androids. Meanwhile, at the lookout, Gohan informs his father about Cell's movement, though Goku is already aware. Goku privately hopes for Vegeta's swift progress, believing that Vegeta should have already surpassed the Super Saiyan barrier. Meanwhile, 17 kicks Piccolo in the face, prompting Piccolo to retaliate with a blast, and they briefly disengage. As Piccolo catches his breath, 17 acknowledges their equal power, but states the difference in their endurance is becoming apparent. 17 asserts his inexhaustible energy, but suddenly, Piccolo is overcome with distress as Cell has arrived on the scene. Piccolo gets upset as he realizes Cell's presence, which had gone unnoticed due to his intense focus on the fight with 17. 17 expresses curiosity about the unfamiliar figure, prompting Piccolo's surprise at the android's lack of knowledge regarding Cell. Cell asserts that this is the day he will finally merge with number 17 and 18, achieving his coveted perfect form. He gazes at the androids, recognizing 17 and 18. Although unfamiliar with the third individual, Cell identifies him as one of Dr. Gero's other creations due to the Red Ribbon Army emblem on his chest. However, Cell dismisses the older model as inconsequential, deeming him irrelevant. Descending from his perch on the rocks, Cell commences a power-up, resulting in a destructive explosion that engulfs the surroundings. Stunned, Piccolo remains motionless, unable to intervene as Cell walks past him, brimming with the energy of his victims. Piccolo finally questions the toll of lives sacrificed for Cell's formidable power, to which Cell retorts that they should feel honored to contribute to his strength. Amid the chaos, Krillin notes Cell's significant power increase, leading Tien to fear the worst. Master Roshi acknowledges that even with Bulma's controller, it will still take her 20 minutes to arrive, prompting Krillin to decide to retrieve the controller himself, utilizing his superior flying speed. Tien decides to join the battle alongside Piccolo, driven by a sense of duty to assist despite being weaker, disregarding Master Roshi's objections. Back on the battlefield, 17 demands that Cell leave, accusing him of disrupting his battle with Piccolo. Suddenly, Piccolo raises his voice, urgently warning 17 about Cell's sinister intentions to absorb and kill him. Before 17 can react, Cell strikes swiftly with his tail, narrowly missing 17's evasion. Cell persists with tail strikes, while 17 narrowly evades. Seizing 17's wrist, Cell hurls him to the ground and attempts a tail strike, which Piccolo intercepts with a kick to Cell's face. As 17 rises, he questions why Cell seeks to absorb him. Piccolo provides a brief explanation, stating Cell is a the creation of Dr. Gero's computer, still incomplete, and he requires assimilation with 17 and 18 to attain his perfected form. Cell interjects, exclaiming the greatness of being a part of his ultimate superpower, a pinnacle of achievement of Dr. Gero's extensive efforts. However, 17 adamantly refuses to be absorbed, asserting his status as the ultimate warrior. Cell counters, asserting that his absorption is inevitable, regardless of his intentions. Unyielding, number 17 vows to silence Cell, but amidst the tension, number 16 urgently tells 17 to flee due to the overwhelming power of their adversary. 16 states his determination to prevent Cell from reaching his perfect form, noting that the monster's objective appears to extend beyond Son Goku's demise and to encompass the destruction of the entire universe. However, unwilling to run away, 17 charges at Cell, only to be forcefully slammed to the ground. Piccolo intervenes, rushing to 17's aid and musters all of his strength into a powerful punch towards Cell, but Cell effortlessly blocks it. Cell lands a punch on Piccolo's face, causing him to skid across the ground. Cell then approaches Piccolo, propelling him to the opposite direction with a powerful kick. Witnessing the struggle, 18 wonders if Piccolo and 17 are holding back. However, 16 explains that the overwhelming strength of Cell renders them powerless. He urges 18 to flee, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. Absorption of both 17 and 18 would render Cell unstoppable and spell doom for the world. 18 questions 16's plans, and Piccolo amasses enough energy for an attack while Cell advances. 17 recognizes the impending danger as Piccolo releases a lightning grenade, resulting in a massive explosion that decimates a significant portion of the island. Emerging from the dissipating smoke, 18 initially rejoices at Piccolo's success, yet 16 shatters the optimism by revealing Cell's minimal damage. Cell's emergence from the water evokes panic in Piccolo, who watches as Cell reappears amongst the remnants of the island. Observing the scene from a nearby mountain, Tien remarks on the vast disparity between their powers. As Cell closes in on Piccolo once more, Piccolo urgently implores 17 to flee. Cell swiftly strikes Piccolo's face, sending him crashing to the ground. Lifting Piccolo, Tien notices his neck is broken, and Cell claims that he's outgrown the need for energy from humans, demonstrating by blasting a hole through Piccolo's chest before discarding his lifeless body into the water. At the lookout, Goku perceives the sudden absence of Piccolo's ki. Gohan reacts emotionally to Piccolo's fate, while Goku wonders what's taking Vegeta so long. Unyielding, 17 defiantly informs Cell that he won't be beaten easily. 18 states that it's time to flee, with 16 concurring and advising her to escape on her own. She questions 16's plan, to which he declares his intent to obliterate Cell, proclaiming that the time for battle has arrived even before encountering Son Goku. 18 objects, fearing for 16's life, but 16 responds with a serene smile, stating how both 17 and 18 never needlessly took a human or animal life, and he enjoyed traveling with them. Tien watches in the distance, wondering if 16 actually plans to fight Cell all alone. In a swift sequence of movements, Cell lands a punch to 17's midsection, followed by an elbow strike that drives him to the ground. Asserting his intent to absorb 17 given his perceived futile resistance, Cell seizes the android by the back of his shirt. 17 demands the monster to let him go, but Cell refuses. Cell's tail then morphs, expanding like a suction cup, poised to engulf 17 entirely. Just as his tail appears to go over 17's head, 16 intervenes, placing his hand on Cell's shoulder. Cell turns to face 16, only to be met with a forceful punch to the face that propels him backwards. Cell, interpreting 16's actions as another reckless sacrifice, contemplates the appearance of yet another individual willing to disregard their own life. 17 questions whether 16 intends to engage in combat, to which 16 affirms his intention. Although 17 foresees his impending demise, 16 asserts that a calculated evaluation suggests he and Cell possess roughly equal power. Without further hesitation, 16 and Cell charge toward each other and a powerful collision happens as they headbutt. Cell punches 16 and stabs him in the neck with his tail to absorb his energy, yet 16 responds with a confident smirk. Cell's frustration mounts as he realizes 16 is fully mechanical, and capitalizing on the moment, 16 seizes Cell's tail, forcefully slamming him to the ground. He then steps on Cell and forcibly rips his tail from his body, thereby preventing him from absorbing anyone further. Cell, however, claims to possess cells from Piccolo and utilizes them to regenerate his severed tail with ease. Unfazed, 16 states that the only way to kill Cell would be to crush the life from him, but Cell dismisses the possibility. 16 remains undeterred, asserting his determination to attempt the feat and demonstrating his resolve, Cell amplifies his power slightly. 16 propels himself towards Cell with a forceful kick, yet Cell evades by leaping over the attack and responds with a swift kick that sends 16 hurtling through the air. Closing the gap, Cell lands a punch to 16's face, launching him across the battlefield. However, as Cell advances once more, 16 employs an unexpected tactic as he propels his fist like a rocket, striking Cell squarely in the face. Cell is sent hurtling through the air, prompting 16 to retrieve and reattach his fist. Swiftly and forcefully, 16 drives Cell down to the ground, then lifts him once more, forcefully slamming him into the earth to create a substantial crater. Acting swiftly, 16 crosses his arms before withdrawing them, leaving his fist nestled within his armpits. Extending the arm stumps into the hole, he unleashes a Hell Flash attack, the resulting blast being so strong that it erupts from beneath the ground in various parts of the island. Feeling this as he flies toward Bulma's direction, Krillin is puzzled by the source of the immense explosion, but knows for sure it wasn't Piccolo, as he noticed his ki vanished not too long ago. As things calm down a bit, 16 proceeds to reattach his fist, leaving Tien, 17, and 18 in awe by his astounding power. Casting his gaze upon number 18, 16 questions her continued presence, to which she reassures him that Cell has been defeated. 16, however, states it'll take more than that to defeat Cell, although the attack should have inflicted some harm. In an urgent call, 16 implores 17, who happens to be near one of the open craters, to retreat. Defying the plea, 17 confidently asserts his intention to get some payback on Cell and finish him off. However, Cell emerges from a hole behind him, his tail extended and ready, while 17 remains unaware of the imminent threat. Tien witnesses Cell emerge and urgently warns 17 about his presence. However, neither 17 or 16 have sufficient time to react, and without hesitation, Cell proclaims his emergence, his tail enclosing around 17, fully devouring him up to his waist before 16 can intervene. 17 is completely absorbed into Cell's body, initiating a transformative sequence that showcases the monster's escalating power. Realizing it's too late, 16 implores 18 to flee, noting Tien should do the same. Even Goku perceives Cell's surging energy, realizing that one of the androids have fallen victim to absorption. As the transformation comes to an end, Cell attains a state of partial completion, marking a significant step towards his ultimate goal. Cell's second form adopts a more human-like appearance, sporting more muscle. His feet now possess a sleek, boot-like contour, and his hands exhibit a closer resemblance to human appendages. Most notably, his facial features have undergone a change, assuming a more human shape with lips, human-like eyes, and an absence of a nose. Casting a smug glance toward the remaining androids, Cell's demeanor exudes confidence. Swiftly, 16 seizes 18 by the arm, taking to the skies in an attempt to evade. However, Cell proves his newfound agility by swiftly intercepting them, leaving 16 astonished by his speed. Tien, witnessing the turn of events, recognizes the dire situation and resolves to take action, even if it means a possible sacrifice. He conveys his apologies to his friend Chaozu, acknowledging the potential risk involved in his decision. Cell dismisses any possibility of 18's escape and attributes his newfound speed to the absorption of number 17. 16 launches a powerful punch at Cell's face, but Cell remains undeterred, smirking in the face of the attack's impact. Exhibiting his might, Cell retaliates by directing an energy blast at point-blank range towards 16, leaving him severely incapacitated and emitting smoke from his damaged head. Cell's power surge is evident as he turns his attention toward 18, prompting her to threaten self-destruction to deter him from coming any closer. Adopting 17's voice, Cell entices 18 to embrace absorption, explaining the benefits of becoming part of his ultimate life form. As 18 hears the voice, she hesitates, but a gravely injured 16 cautions against trusting Cell's words, noting that he's trying to manipulate her using 17's voice. Cell dismisses 16's input, belittling his ability to understand emotions, and urges 18 and 17's voice to join him in fulfilling Dr. Gero's wishes to defeat Son Goku and conquer the world. However, this catches 18's attention, as she and 17 hated Gero for converting them to androids and would never want to fulfill his wishes. Growing impatient, Cell exclaims that he'll absorb 18 by force if he has to. He says that he could potentially reach her in time to prevent her self-destruction, as it would take her a brief moment to power up enough energy to kill herself. An apprehensive number 18 gazes nervously at Cell, who chuckles and derides her chances of success. However, Cell's attention shifts, catching sight of Tien above him, who emanates a huge surge of power. Forming his hands into a triangular shape, Tien declares his tri-beam technique and hurls it at Cell. This amplified version of the tri-beam creates a colossal pit in the earth upon impact, and Tien urgently implores 18 to leave as Cell begins to rise from the pit and he's hit with another tri-beam. Responding to Tien's warning, instincts, 18 rushes to 16, inquiring about his ability to fly. As Tien hits Cell repeatedly with tri-beam attacks, Goku's voice rings out, exclaiming to stop what he's doing, as any more exposure to the technique could kill him. Tien continues launching the tri-beam down at Cell, while number 18 helps 16 to his feet and they fly off. Back at the lookout, Goku keeps yelling for Tien to stop, and Tien uses one final tri-beam before he finally runs out of energy and drops to the ground. Goku feels this, and Cell begins to emerge from the pit. Cell gets pissed that 18's gone, and is surprised that Tien of all people was the one who slowed him down. Cell decides to eliminate Tien, but Goku suddenly teleports to the battle, and Cell is shocked to see him in person. Goku tells Cell that as he is now, he has no hope of defeating him, but exclaims for him to just wait one day and he'll be strong enough to take him down. Cell laughs and questions if Goku's serious, and the Saiyan confirms. Cell questions what progress Goku could possibly make in one day, but Goku ignores him and begins looking around. He says Piccolo's still alive and grabs Tien's hand, warping over to the edge of the island where Piccolo is washed ashore. Cell wonders how Goku moved in an instant like that, and the Saiyan picks Piccolo up over his shoulders and says they'll go to the lookout and get some sensu beams from Korin. Cell says he won't let them get away and rushes at the trio, but Goku teleports away with Piccolo and Tien before Cell gets to them. Cell wonders about the strange technique of Son Goku's, but decides he doesn't matter right now, as finding number 18 is his top priority, and he flies off to find her. Meanwhile, Krillin reaches Bulma's plane and explains that he thought it'd be faster to fly to meet her. She hands him the controller and says it won't work unless he's within 10 meters of the androids. She then offers to give him some battle gear like the one Vegeta has, but Krillin says Goku and the others need those more than he does. He tells Bulma they're at the lookout, and Bulma says she'll take it to them there. Meanwhile, Goku, Gohan, and a healed Piccolo and Tien speak at the lookout, as Piccolo expresses his belief that nobody can beat Cell. Mr. Popo then yells out that Vegeta and Trunks are coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber, surprising Goku, who plans to go in next. Their attire hangs in tatters, and Trunks' hair has grown notably longer. Trunks offers an apology for the delay, explaining that his father had already pushed beyond the limits of Super Saiyan within 2 months, but he deliberately took his time. Vegeta swiftly dismisses the conversation, while Goku assumes that the training must have been successful. Vegeta asserts that Goku no longer needs to continue training, as he's now confident in his ability to handle Cell and the androids. Goku shares his observation of Cell's transformation after absorbing 17, but Vegeta remains undeterred. At this moment, Bulma arrives, taken aback by Trunks' altered appearance and growth. He elaborates on his year in the hyperbolic time chamber, prompting Bulma to wonder why Vegeta's hair hasn't changed. Vegeta clarifies that a pure-blooded Saiyan's hair remains the same from birth, a realization that dawns upon Goku as well. However, Vegeta refocuses the discussion, inquiring about Bulma's purpose for coming. She reveals a collection of battle attire stored in a capsule case, surprising Goku with its likeness. Gohan finds the attire reminiscent of what he wore on planet Namek, and Trunks promptly changes into one too. Bulma extends the offer to Tien and Piccolo, but Piccolo declines, stating his aversion to wearing the same clothing as Saiyans and Frieza. Seizing the moment, Vegeta tells Goku that he doesn't need to put on the suit, as he won't get the chance to fight. However, Goku asserts he wouldn't complain if Vegeta defeated Cell and the androids on his own. Declining Goku's offer of instant transmission to Cell, Vegeta takes to the sky and departs. Trunks voices his intention to follow, and Goku hands him 2 sensu beans before his departure, coupled with Bulma's statement that neither of them better die. With Trunks gone, Goku now turns his attention to Gohan, indicating that it's their turn to engage in training. Meanwhile, Cell soars above the ocean, pondering the android's elusive speed that kept him from finding them. Lacking any trace of their whereabouts, Cell concludes that they must be hidden on one of the many islands below. In a burst of frustration, Cell bellows for 18 to reveal herself, as failure to comply will result in the destruction of the islands below. He states that while it's true destroying her would hinder his perfected form, there's nobody on Earth that could stop him from doing as he pleases anyway. Hidden on an island with 16, 18 states that Cell will probably do as he says. However, 16 urges her to remain still, reasoning that Cell is desperate to attain his perfect form and wouldn't risk destroying her. Meanwhile, Vegeta makes his way towards his destination, appearing confident in his mysterious newfound power. Cell yells for 18 to show herself, but realizes she won't be coming out. Determined, the monster decides to begin the destruction. Extending his hand, he unleashes a blast that propels an entire island into the air with an explosion before plummeting into the water. Acknowledging her absence in that one, Cell shifts his focus to the next island, determined to continue the search. 18 gets nervous as she witnesses Cell's relentless destruction, but 16 tells her that his attacks willingly lack the strength to eliminate her. However, she still remains worried over 16's safety. 16 wonders why Cell is so obsessed with the prospect of becoming perfect, given he's already the most powerful being there is. He speculates that Cell's pursuit may really just be the desire for ultimate power, and that he won't stop until he succeeds. Meanwhile, Cell proceeds to obliterate a couple more islands. In parallel, Vegeta soars through the sky, transforming into a Super Saiyan to speed up to reach his destination. The detonation of the island sends a strong shockwave, rocking number 18 and 16's island, as one of the islands destroyed was right next to theirs. 16 advises 18 to remain motionless, as Cell closely watches for any signs of movement. 16 states that if they ride out the explosions, at the very least, she'll survive the encounter. Cell primes himself to eradicate yet another island, this time the one harboring 18 and 16, when an unexpected arrival interrupts his actions. Vegeta's sudden appearance takes Cell aback, and Vegeta commands him to land. Both land upon the island where the androids sought refuge among the trees, and Cell assumes Vegeta's foolishly come to try to defeat him. Vegeta, however, states that he plans to pulverize Cell until there's nothing left, prompting the monster to find his comment amusing. 18 in the distance doesn't believe Vegeta either, given he was unable to defeat her just a few days ago. Trunks then arrives, prompting Cell's suspicion of a couple friends Vegeta may have on the way. However, Vegeta asserts that Trunks is merely an observer, firmly proclaiming that alone, he'll be more than enough to send Cell to an early grave. Cell questions Vegeta in disbelief if he really believes he'll be able to defeat him. Vegeta confidently confirms his assertion, while Cell dismissively deems his words as nonsense. Echoing Cell's statement, 18 voices agreement, asserting that Vegeta's chances of winning are slim. She discreetly advises 16 that this would be a good opportunity to escape, but 16 tells her to wait until they're occupied with fighting each other. Intrigued by the sudden surge in Vegeta's power since their prior encounters, 16 finds this development peculiar. Undeterred, Vegeta vows to wipe the smug grin off Cell's face, prompting Trunks to speculate that his father is aiming to surpass Cell's form. Vegeta initiates his power-up, and at the lookout, Piccolo anticipates the unfolding spectacle. With his turban and mantle reappearing, Piccolo predicts that Vegeta will unveil his power beyond that of a Super Saiyan. Meanwhile, Goku and Gohan reside within the hyperbolic time chamber. Gohan states that it's hot and hard to breathe, and Goku says that once the door is closed, everything on the outside is shut out, including the presence of Ki, as they can no longer sense Cell or Vegeta's. Goku familiarizes Gohan with the room's layout, including the expansive training space ahead. Gohan marvels at the vastness, noting the absence of any discernible features. Goku reveals that the space mirrors Earth's dimensions, yet venturing too far could lead one to getting lost and dying. The climate fluctuates from -40 to 120 degrees. The atmosphere is a quarter of Earth's, and the gravity is maximized tenfold. Goku initiates their training, emphasizing his desire to transform Gohan into a Super Saiyan. Gohan worries he might impede on his father's solo training, but Goku counters that Gohan's participation as a strong opponent would be invaluable. Goku expresses his aspiration to surpass the Super Saiyan level, with his ultimate goal of becoming stronger than anyone. However, he also states he wants Gohan to be even more powerful than him. Gohan references Trunks' future, where he achieved Super Saiyan status but still fell to the androids. Goku reminds Gohan of the differences between their current situation and Trunks' timeline, highlighting Gohan's lack of training in that future. Meanwhile, Vegeta's power escalation leaves everyone in awe as he culminates a transformation. The Saiyan's physique visibly increases in size as his hair thickens and spikes as well. The astonishing display leaves Cell surprised as Vegeta charges forward, landing a powerful blow to Cell's stomach, shocking androids 16 and 18. As Cell clutches his stomach in pain, Vegeta knocks him away, watching as he lands on his back. Cell rises and points out that Vegeta may not be so weak after all, and he retaliates by throwing a punch at the Saiyan, but Vegeta expertly grabs his arm and forcefully flips Cell to the ground. Rising to his feet, Cell turns around only to be met with a powerful kick from Vegeta, propelling him through the nearby mountain. Krillin, carrying the remote controller in the distance, observes Vegeta's overwhelming energy, surpassing even that of Cell, and hastens toward the scene to investigate. In the aftermath of the clash, Cell sits amongst the rubble, numbers 18 and 16 in awe at Vegeta's change in strength in such a short period of time. Vegeta approaches the recovering Cell, who now vows to get serious, although Vegeta dryly remarks that he believes Cell was already doing so. A faint chuckle escapes from Cell before he begins to power up. Meanwhile, Gohan's endeavor to transform into a Super Saiyan encounters an obstacle as Goku clarifies that he's merely elevating his energy. Goku instructs Gohan to tap into his anger, envisioning himself falling victim to Cell. Gohan, however, admits his unfamiliarity with Cell, prompting Goku to suggest visualizing Frieza instead. Despite his best efforts, Gohan attempts to transform but falls short. Goku shares that both he and Vegeta encounter similar difficulties, emphasizing the need for patience. While Cell completes his power-up, Vegeta acknowledges it's not enough. While in the distance, Trunks states that his father has won the battle. Krillin, monitoring the situation from above the island, identifies the combatants as Vegeta and Cell. In a swift move, Cell flies toward Vegeta, Vegeta, delivering a punch that jolts the Saiyan but doesn't topple him. Rising from the impact, Vegeta dons a confident smirk and astutely acknowledges that Cell has reached his limit. Challenging Cell's skepticism, the Saiyan declares he isn't merely Vegeta anymore, rather, he's Super Vegeta. Puzzled by the concept of Super Vegeta, Cell contemplates what it means, to which Vegeta remarks that explaining it fully would be a pointless task. He advises Cell to worry about his own safety, but confirms it won't make a difference anyway. Hovering above the island, Krillin observes Cell's transformation and wonders if he's already become perfect. He then looks down at the remote Bulma created and states it may prove to be useless. Fueled by anger, Cell strikes out with his tail in an attempt to assault Vegeta, yet the Saiyan quickly vaults over the appendage and delivers a swift kick. Following up, Vegeta launches another powerful kick to Cell's stomach and hits him in the back of the head, sending him crashing down to the water below. Krillin is left in awe by the extent of Vegeta's newfound power, and his gaze shifts to Trunks, who's noticeably grown stronger as well. Krillin then notices the two androids nearby, surprised that they remain unnoticed by Cell, Vegeta, and even Trunks. Recalling Bulma's instructions about the proximity, Krillin discreetly lands on the island. He nervously approaches the location of the androids and becomes aware of Cell's incomplete transformation into his perfect form, deducing that number 17 must have been absorbed. As Cell emerges from the water, Vegeta decides to deliver an even more startling revelation. He proclaims that Trunks possesses a true strength nearly comparable to his own, letting Cell know that even if he managed to slip by him, his son would stop him anyway. Cell's gaze then fixates on Trunks as he sits in awe. Irritated by the realization that Cell's power isn't as exceptional as he believed, Vegeta states that ending Cell's life feels like a waste of time. A sudden eruption of frustration from Cell comes out as he reflects on his inability to attain his perfect form, realizing if he had, he wouldn't have possibly lost to anyone. Observing Cell's reaction with a hint of intrigue, Vegeta's attention is momentarily diverted, while Krillin meanwhile stealthily approaches the androids. Vegeta flies over to Cell, inquiring whether he genuinely believes he could secure victory by attaining his perfect form. Cell confirms, stating his power, speed, skill, and mental capacity would all be improved, making him invincible as the computer told him. In a swift motion, Vegeta delivers a kick that propels Cell through the air. 18 wonders if Vegeta pretended to be weak when they fought, but 16 states he had no reason to do so, speculating that something drastic occurred in the last few days. As Krillin draws closer to the scene, his anxiety grows, causing him to crouch behind a boulder and observe number 18. His uneasiness grows larger as he gazes at her, thus forcing his hesitation to push the remote's button. Vegeta strides purposely towards Cell once more, reiterating his question on whether he can defeat him once he's complete. Cell expresses slight irritation at the repetition, confirming his confidence in emerging victorious if allowed to reach his perfect form. Intrigued by Cell's conviction, Vegeta's interest is piqued, prompting concern from Trunks regarding his father's intentions. Meanwhile, Krillin thinks to himself, realizing he needs to push the button in order to incapacitate and eliminate 18 to prevent Cell's evolution. Memories of 18's earlier gesture of kissing him on the cheek flood his mind though, as he inadvertently drops the controller. The sound of its impact draws 18's attention. She states that she remembers Krillin, but is shocked to see he's in possession of the emergency shutdown switch. Meanwhile, Cell capitalizes on his conversation with Vegeta, highlighting the Saiyans' inclination for battle and their enthusiasm for challenging adversaries. He asserts that the happier a Saiyan is with the strength of their opponent, the more motivated they become. Seizing upon Cell's assumption, Vegeta concedes, urging him to proceed with his absorption. In response, Cell takes flight, only to be intercepted by Trunks as a Super Saiyan. Amidst the turmoil, Krillin expresses remorse to Bulma as he crushes the controller beneath his foot, shattering it. He implores 18 to flee and evade absorption, but she questions Krillin on why he ruined his only chance to stop Cell, to which his nervousness makes him unable to answer. Cell directs his frustration toward Vegeta due to Trunks' interference, though his focus abruptly shifts as he spots 18's presence on the island. Trunks diverts his attention toward the same point that captured Cell's gaze, spotting number 18 alongside Krillin. Realizing the obliviousness to 18, 16, and Krillin to Cell's discovery, Trunks lets out a sharp cry to let them know they've been spotted. In response, the group are taken aback, while Cell swiftly advances toward them. Determined to stop Cell's path to perfection, Trunks undergoes a transformation similar to Vegeta's, his physique expanding as he follows in pursuit of Cell. Vegeta perceives the presence of the androids as an advantageous twist of fate, and he swiftly intervenes to prevent Trunks' interference. Trunks, propelled by his resolve, approaches Cell only to be halted by Vegeta's forceful kick that propels him into a nearby mountain. Cell touches down in front of his intended targets, who embrace themselves for the impending confrontation. Cell urges 16 to exercise restraint given his critical condition, and implies that Vegeta Vegeta desires his evolution toward perfection as well. Krillin expresses frustration toward Vegeta for making such a foolish decision, and emerging from the debris, Trunks addresses his father, asserting that they must prevent Cell from achieving his perfect form. He emphasizes the potential escalation of Cell's power beyond their own, raising concerns about the challenges that might arise. In response to Trunks' concerns, Vegeta calls him a coward and wonders if he truly doesn't want to see how strong Cell can get. However, Trunks denies any such desire, having already borne witness to how catastrophic a future such as that can be. He expresses his willingness to kill his own father if it means thwarting Cell's plans, but Vegeta tries to call his bluff. Suddenly, Trunks unleashes a massive two-handed energy blast toward Vegeta before setting his sights on Cell. Swiftly, Cell unleashes the solar flare technique, temporarily blinding Trunks, Krillin, 16, and 18. Seizing the opportunity, Cell uses his tail to ensnare 18, eliciting shocked reactions from Trunks and Krillin upon regaining their sight. Vegeta, surprised by Trunks' resolve, notices the transformation unfolding within Cell. Observing the opportune moment, Trunks decides to intervene, aiming an attack at Cell during his metamorphosis. However, a protective barrier surrounds Cell, stopping Trunks' assault. Faced with an insurmountable obstacle, Trunks abandons his efforts and a brilliant detonation engulfs the scene. As the smoke dissipates, it unveils the outcome of Cell's transformation, symbolizing the monster's completion. High above at the lookout, Piccolo relays to Tien and Bulma that Cell has successfully achieved his perfect form. Bulma questions the controller she crafted, only to learn from Piccolo that Krillin had deliberately destroyed it, shifting the blame toward Vegeta. Within the confines of the hyperbolic time chamber, Gohan completes his transformation into a Super Saiyan, earning praise from Goku for his achievement. Gohan reverts into his regular state and takes a moment to catch his breath, admitting to the strain. Goku proposes a break and suggests helping Gohan with a much-needed haircut. Meanwhile, Cell's perfected form exhibits a sleeker and more refined appearance compared to his previous state. He possesses a less bulky physique, with his tail significantly reduced, wings more distant, and his facial features bear a striking resemblance to that of a human. Vegeta regards the transformation negatively, while Krillin's anger simmers over the harm inflicted on Android 18. Krillin furiously launches in to attack, striking Cell's head and delivering a few kicks. However, Cell remains unfazed, surprising Krillin and Trunks. Demonstrating his newly acquired power, Cell extends his arms, testing his capabilities, before executing a swift kick that sends Krillin hurtling through the air after connecting with the side of his head. Trunks, concerned for Krillin's well-being, swiftly takes flight towards his injured comrade, administering a senzu bean to aid his recovery. Vegeta touches down near Cell, remarking on Cell's apparent contentment with his newly acquired form, while personally deeming the perfect form to be unremarkable. Cell turns his attention to Vegeta, challenging him to assist in warming up for their battle, to which Vegeta consents, asserting that their warm-up will also mark Cell's defeat. With Krillin now in stable condition, Trunks expresses his relief at the close call, but Krillin expresses Vegeta's going to get himself killed. Acknowledging his inferiority compared to the Saiyans, Krillin possesses a keen understanding of Cell's potency and ferocity. As Cell and Vegeta assume battle stances, Krillin warns against underestimating Cell's current power, revealing that the monster is concealing a substantial amount of energy, similar to Trunks himself. Trunks is taken aback by Krillin's perceptive insight, and Krillin surmises that Vegeta likely failed to detect Trunks' restraint, while Trunks successfully overcame the barriers that held Vegeta back. Engaging in combat, Vegeta initiates a series of strikes against Cell, who expertly blocks each assault, demonstrating a power beyond what Vegeta had anticipated. Observing this, Trunks reflects that his father has transcended the limits of Super Saiyan, but also reveals that he achieved an even higher level recently. Despite this, Trunks remains determined to withhold his newfound strength from his prideful father, especially as he's determined to defeat Cell himself. Their exchange continues as Vegeta and Cell clash, each testing each other's limits. 16 observes Cell's increased might, yet remains convinced that Vegeta maintains a greater advantage. However, growing increasingly frustrated, Vegeta accuses Cell of not taking the battle seriously. Cell's response is dismissive, claiming that their previous interaction was merely a warm-up, eliciting a shocked reaction from 16 as Vegeta's anger intensifies, demanding Cell's full commitment to the battle. Cell complies, closing the distance between them with remarkable speed. A kick from Vegeta meets the side of Cell's head, but the blow proves ineffective as Cell remains unaffected, making fun of the Saiyan's Super Vegeta title. Witnessing this exchange, Krillin questions Trunks about his reluctance to intervene, to which Trunks explains that his father would rather be defeated by Cell than accept help from anyone. A look of astonishment washes over Vegeta's face as Cell provocatively urges him to display a smile. Without hesitation, Cell takes flight, delivering a forceful kick that propels Vegeta through a mountain. Despite the impact, Vegeta manages to stop his momentum in midair. Cell makes fun of their vast disparity in power, suggesting that there's almost no point in fighting as it would be too boring. Growing increasingly frustrated, Trunks boils with anger, prompting Krillin to implore him to assist Vegeta so he won't get killed. In response, Trunks resolves to intervene only when his father has been knocked unconscious, ensuring that Vegeta remains oblivious to his assistance. Krillin argues that such an approach may not work if Vegeta dies beforehand, urging Trunks to reconsider. Meanwhile, 16 positions himself for an attack from behind, but Cell dismisses the futile gesture, deeming 16 nothing more than a piece of junk. As Vegeta catches his breath, he extends his arms outward, initiating a powerful surge of energy. He gradually draws his arms inward, assuming a gripping posture that triggers intense seismic tremors in the surroundings. With forceful determination, Vegeta directs a comment towards Cell, asserting that his perfect form couldn't possibly take the attack he plans to unleash head-on. Cell responds with a derisive smirk, prompting Krillin to speculate whether Vegeta's technique might inadvertently annihilate the Earth. Positioned to face the imminent attack head-on, Cell maintains his stance while Trunks pleads with his father to desist. Krillin implores Trunks to retreat as Vegeta lets out a thunderous cry, unleashing a colossal energy surge in the form of a final flash attack. Cell's readiness looks as though it turns to fear as the colossal energy beam propels forward, ultimately piercing through the atmosphere and into space. With impeccable timing, Trunks and Krillin manage to vacate the island, escaping the cataclysmic blast. As the dust settles, Vegeta's energy recedes, and Cell stands amidst the aftermath, bearing a sizable portion of his body obliterated by the attack. Seemingly victorious, Vegeta taunts Cell, proclaiming the battle is already over. Amidst the chaotic scene, Vegeta begins to laugh while Krillin becomes animated, thrilled that Vegeta has seemingly succeeded. Cell's anxiety intensifies while Vegeta's laughter persists. However, Cell's smug expression emerges as he reminds Vegeta that he has Piccolo's DNA. Cell then proceeds to demonstrate his regenerative abilities, growing his lost body parts, a sight that leaves Vegeta in a state of shock. As he approaches the Saiyan, Vegeta launches a barrage of projectiles in a desperate attempt for survival. Amongst the smoke, Cell emerges unscathed, countering with a powerful punch that forces Vegeta to the ground. Struggling to rise, Vegeta finds himself kicked airborne by Cell. Cell swiftly ascends and, to everyone's shock, delivers a crushing elbow strike, propelling Vegeta back to Earth, where he impacts face first and passes out, reverting from Super Saiyan form to his normal state. Cell states Vegeta's unwillingness to die, but says that he'll just have to finish the job. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Krillin implores Trunks to intervene, prompting Trunks to comply, embarking on a formidable power-up that visibly increases his physique. Krillin gets nervous as he witnesses the immense surge in Trunks' power, and Cell readies himself to deliver a decisive blow to the weakened Vegeta. However, Cell's attention is suddenly diverted as he becomes aware of Trunks' dramatic transformation, causing his expression to shift to one of profound shock. Observing Trunks' heightened energy, Krillin remarks on the amount of ki pouring out of him. Trunks then tells Krillin his plan, instructing him to transport his father to Master Roshi's house and give him a senzu bean when the time is right. Krillin questions if Trunks will need a senzu himself, but Trunks denies it as he states he plans to win this fight. Touching down, Trunks expresses to Cell that he's going to kill him, and the two approach each other, closing the gap until they stand face to face. Cell initiates an attack, launching a kick towards Trunks, who quickly evades the blow. In response, Trunks delivers a punch, only for Cell to evade, counterattacking with a strike to Trunks' stomach, followed by a swift kick that propels Trunks away. Amidst the battle, Trunks motions Krillin to take his father to safety. He notices the gesture and Cell rushes in once more. Trunks rises to his feet and Cell hits him away again, the two then trading blows as Krillin lands next to Vegeta. Cell knocks Trunks away again and Krillin hoists Vegeta over his shoulder, signaling to Trunks with a thumbs up before departing. On his feet once more, Trunks faces Cell with a smirk. Cell, noting Vegeta's removal from the battlefield, questions whether Trunks will now engage in the fight more seriously. Trunks expresses surprise at Cell's knowledge of Vegeta's absence, prompting Cell to clarify Vegeta doesn't interest him anymore. He now directs his curiosity toward unlocking the true potential of Trunks' power, affirming his readiness to showcase the full extent of his perfected form. Unfazed, Trunks accepts the challenge, powering up and ready to fight seriously. Continuing to elevate his power, Trunks remains steadfast in his determination to unveil his true might to Cell. The impressive display of Trunks' immense strength garners the admiration of Cell, even surpassing his own capabilities. However, Cell tells Trunks that power isn't everything. Undeterred, Trunks dismisses Cell's assertion as a mere bluff and charges forward. Meanwhile, at the lookout, Piccolo stands in sheer amazement at Trunks' formidable power. Bulma implores Piccolo to share the unfolding events, prompting Piccolo to confirm that he's indeed referring to Trunks, much to Bulma's happiness. Inside the hyperbolic time chamber, Gohan assumes the form of a Super Saiyan, soaring through the air with precision, unleashing a fury of punches and kicks. Goku, engaged in meditation nearby, marvels at Gohan's rapid progress. Curiosity gnaws at Gohan as he questions his father's prolonged inaction. Mustering a final burst of energy, Gohan descends to the ground, reverting to his base form, breathless and exhausted. A resurgence of determination courses through Goku, propelling him into the realm of Super Saiyan. Not content with his mere achievement, he delves deeper, evolving into the Super Saiyan 2nd grade, surprising Gohan at Goku's mastery of this state. Goku then says he can push it one more time and evolves into Super Saiyan 3rd grade, shocking Gohan further, believing his father to be capable of effortlessly overcoming Cell. However, back at the battlefield, the limitations of the Super Saiyan 3rd grade form become increasingly evident. Despite his overwhelming power, Trunks struggles to connect a blow against Cell, who evades all incoming attacks with remarkable ease. Simultaneously, Goku understands the predicament. He deduces that the Super Saiyan 3rd grade form, while powerful, exacts a toll on speed and stamina. In his insight, Goku devises a new approach, shifting his and Gohan's focus toward refining the core Super Saiyan form. This will require making Super Saiyan their natural form, the benefit being they'd be able to stay in it without having to worry about fatigue. Meanwhile, Trunks finds himself perplexed by his inability to strike Cell despite his incredible power. Cell seizes the opportunity to mock Trunks, highlighting his over-reliance on brute force. In a surprising turn, Cell himself transforms into the Super Saiyan 3rd grade form, debunking the notion that it's a unique capability held solely by Trunks. Cell calls Trunks a fool for utilizing a form that only gives him brute strength. Trunks then experiences a sudden realization, acknowledging the flaw in his approach and recognizing the wisdom behind Vegeta's decision to refrain from using the Super Saiyan 3rd grade form. Agreeing with Cell's point, Trunks reverts to his base form, admitting defeat and urging Cell to kill him, which prompts the monster to state that he just might. Far removed on a distant island, Krillin notices that Trunks' ki shrank while Cell's was still huge. Acting with haste, Krillin administers a senzu bean to Vegeta, hastening their return to the battle. Meanwhile, Cell stands poised to deliver a final blow to Trunks, fueled by his disappointment in both Trunks and Vegeta. Perched atop the lookout, Piccolo stands in awe at the sheer might of Cell, predicting Trunks' impending demise. However, Cell acknowledges the remarkable progress made by Vegeta and Trunks within a short period of time, and wonders if they could improve it further if they had more time. Trunks states he isn't sure, as he won't know until he tries, piquing Cell's interest. Inquiring about Goku's whereabouts, Cell learns from Trunks that Goku's training to defeat him, as Trunks states that Goku will succeed where he's failed. Cell finds this answer satisfying and decides to hold a tournament in 10 days. He challenges Trunks to gather his allies so they can all compete against him, stating that assuming he wins, he'll take on the next person until there's no one left. Cell states it'd be a great way to pass the time, and urges Trunks to watch out for the location of the tournament on the news. Bewildered by Cell's new objectives, Trunks seeks clarity, prompting Cell to state he wants to confirm his superiority over everyone and spread fear into the world. He goes on to say he wants to have some fun, and the greatest fun of all is watching people's faces twist in fear. Cell then takes off, leaving Krillin and Vegeta to join the scene moments later. Back at the lookout, Bulma tells Piccolo to save Trunks, but the Namekian reveals that Trunks managed to survive. With an awareness of the challenges ahead, Piccolo grows nervous, opting to use the hyperbolic time chamber as well. On the islands, Trunks fills Krillin and Vegeta in on Cell's tournament idea, further annoying Vegeta, who believes the monster is just toying with them. Despite their reservations, Trunks commits to using the hyperbolic time chamber again, and Vegeta opts to do the same, stating Cell will regret giving him more time. In the midst of their discussion, the battered Android 16 emerges, expressing his desire to partake in the tournament as well. He inquires of the group to escort him to Capsule Corporation for repairs, but Trunks is unwilling, more interested in destroying Dr. Gero's creations. However, Krillin decides to take him, stating he's not a bad guy, just like the other two androids, and further explains that they'll need all the help they can get to defeat Cell. The next morning, Cell arrives at a carefully chosen location designated for the impending tournament. With precision, he clears a substantial portion of the ground, expanding the area slightly beyond the dimensions of the World Martial Arts Tournament ring. Soon after, he artfully shapes the rock into a polished, smooth stone, fashioning the foundation of the ring. While he decides to enhance its appearance with decorations later, Cell departs for the ZTV station to make his momentous announcement. At Kame House, Yamcha and Krillin occupy a space near the television, currently tuned into a weather report. Abruptly, their attention is seized by screams emanating from the screen, revealing Cell's unanticipated presence at the TV station. Krillin alerts Master Roshi that Cell is on TV, and Chi-Chi comes over to watch too. Cell begins by announcing the interruption of the regularly scheduled programming to bring amazing news, and introducing himself to the world as Cell, the monster who'd been known worldwide thus far for slaughtering people people a few days ago. He states that the person responsible for the massacre was him, only now he's grown much more powerful. Cell goes on to announce that in 9 days, on the 17th at noon, he'll be hosting a martial arts tournament called the Cell Games, then revealing the coordinates of the ring. The monster states that unlike the Tenkaichi Budokai held on Earth, everyone will be fighting him one-on-one, with the next person taking over after someone's lost. Cell goes on to explain that similarly to the Tenkaichi Budokai, a challenger loses if they surrender, fall out of the ring, or even die, although he'll try to go easy. Cell then vows to kill every single human being on the planet once he's won the tournament, coming relentlessly after every last one and watching their faces twist with fear. Demonstrating just a glimpse of his power, Cell then launches a devastating blast from the news station, killing hundreds of people and telling the world that they'd better come prepared to defeat him as he flies off, having made his point clear. The gravity of the situation prompts contemplation amongst the likes of Master Roshi, Krillin, and Yamcha, who speculate about who could possibly rise to the occasion posed by Cell. However, amidst the uncertainty, Vegeta asserts his intent to re-enter the hyperbolic time chamber for further training, and Trunks decides to join him. Cell's ominous transmission spreads fear throughout the world, leaving civilians lacking confidence in the Earth's military or its champions. Yet among them, a forgotten figure looms, a resilient boy who once vanquished Demon King Piccolo and more recently thwarted the Saiyans and the tyrant Frieza. In the midst of global apprehension, Goku, unseen, is tirelessly honing his skills alongside his son, Gohan. Panic has spread throughout the world since Cell's broadcast, as people try to locate places that would make them less of a target. Meanwhile, at the lookout, Vegeta and Trunks, wearing new battle gear, are waiting outside the hyperbolic time chamber along with Piccolo and Tien. Trunks wonders how much longer Goku and Gohan will be, and Popo says it'll be another 3 hours. Vegeta states they probably won't come out on time, as their training will likely take more than 24 hours. Piccolo says there's nothing to worry about, as there are still 9 days left into the tournament. He believes Trunks and Vegeta should rest while he goes in first, but Vegeta exclaims Piccolo's assistance is a waste of time, as only a Saiyan could do any good against Cell now. He states that Piccolo can do what he wants, but he'll be using the remaining 8 days for himself. Piccolo calls Vegeta a fool, stating a person can't spend more than 2 days or 48 hours of their life in the hyperbolic time chamber. Vegeta asserts he may do it anyway, but Mr. Popo says if he tries, the exit will disappear and he'll be stuck in there forever. Just then, everyone feels Goku and Gohan's ki as they're coming out sooner than expected. The pair exit the chamber as Super Saiyans, and Goku wonders why Vegeta and Trunks are here, but he feels Cell's ki, assuming that he must still be alive. Piccolo thinks to himself that he barely recognizes Gohan, and Goku inquires Trunks to fill them in on what's been going on. Amidst Trunks' explanation, Vegeta wonders what happened to Goku and Gohan, as they appear to be Super Saiyans, but he can't feel their energy. He says it's like the transformation is their natural state, and Trunks concludes his explanation. Goku thinks the tournament sounds interesting, and questions Mr. Popo on if he still has his clothes. Goku gets dressed, declining Trunks' offer to get a new set of armor, and Gohan confronts Piccolo, asking to get clothes just like his, to which the Namekian obliges. Donning their battle outfits, Vegeta inquires of Goku if he thinks he can defeat Cell. Goku states he doesn't know since he hasn't met Cell in his perfect form yet, so he decides to get a look at him using instant transmission. Goku appears behind Cell, the monster then asking if Goku likes the ring he prepared to decide the Earth's fate in 9 days. Goku, however, says it's pretty lame, and the two stare each other down. Goku gets serious, inquiring if this is Cell's complete form. Cell confirms, and Goku says he'll definitely show up to fight, but tells Cell not to kill anyone else. He then leaves, saying it'll be a good match. Cell then stating how the tournament will be more fun than he expected. When Goku returns, Trunks wonders what he thought of Cell, the Saiyan then stating he didn't think the monster would grow this much power, and if he were to fight him as he is now, he probably wouldn't stand a chance. This statement shocks Vegeta and Trunks, prompting Piccolo to urge Goku and Gohan to reuse the hyperbolic time chamber after everyone else is gone. However, Goku refuses, much to the Namekian's surprise. Piccolo wonders why Goku won't go back in the hyperbolic time chamber, and Goku explains the conditions of the room are rough and that he'll be better off resting his body. Vegeta mocks Goku, assuming the time chamber was too much for him. However, Goku says that there's a point where stressing your body becomes torture rather than training. He goes on to say that the rest of the group can go in though, as they probably still have some room for improvement. Feeling patronized, Vegeta questions if Goku's suggesting he's stronger than him, to which Goku confirms, stating much more so, angering Vegeta. Goku wishes everyone good luck, and he and Gohan take off, stopping at Korin's tower shortly after. Korin highlights the dire events unfolding on Earth, and as Goku explains that he's never seen anything like Cell before, Korin expresses astonishment at Goku's apparent calmness, even in the face of Cell's perfect form. Wondering if Goku's come across some some revelation in the hyperbolic time chamber, Korin questions if he's made a valuable discovery. Goku brushes off the question with a chuckle, prompting Gohan to contemplate the possibility as he was alongside his father during their entire training period. Goku questions Korin on Cell's strength, and Korin states he's not sure as he hasn't shown his true powers, but he could estimate it. Goku tells him to try and compare Cell's power to his own and he'll raise his ki. Meanwhile, Tien wonders if Gohan and Goku were really Super Saiyans since they seem so natural. Piccolo says they definitely were, but they seem to have trained themselves to maintain the state as if it were their norm. Trunks thinks that it might be so they can do an even more incredible transformation during the battle with Cell, but Vegeta berates him, stating that Goku and Gohan decided Super Saiyan was their best combat state, assuming that if they got used to it, it would minimize the strain on their bodies during battle. Suddenly, Goku begins to power up, nearly blowing Korin and Yajirobe away, although Gohan remains calm. Korin tells Goku to stop and lower his energy, otherwise he'll shatter the tower. The others at the lookout feel Goku's ki and are in disbelief. As things calm down, Goku tells Korin that was about half his power, and Korin thinks it's crazy how Goku could be this strong. However, Gohan thinks to himself, wondering if that's all his father is actually capable of. Goku inquires of Korin to compare him to Cell, and the cat falls silent, then stating that Cell is still a bit stronger. Goku realizes his own estimation was correct and thanks Korin happily. He touches Gohan on the shoulder and the two teleport away. Yajirobe in awe at how incredible Goku is, while Korin wonders why Goku is so calm given the dire situation. At the lookout, Vegeta grows frustrated at Goku for always being one step ahead of him, thinking every time he believes he's got the upper hand, he's proved wrong. Vegeta then yells at Piccolo to hurry up and get in the room, as he's eager to go in next. Goku and Gohan arrive at Kame House, and Goku says they'll get Chi-Chi and go home. From there, he and Gohan will have 3 days of rest, 3 days of training, and then another 3 days of rest. Gohan wonders if this plan is the best course of action, but Goku tells him not to worry as they go and grab Chi-Chi, who screams when she sees Gohan's hair color, thinking he's turned into a delinquent. A few days later, Goku, Gohan, and Chi-Chi enjoy a leisurely picnic by the lake. Goku notices a massive fish in the water and points it out to the others, but Gohan, concerned about their carefree attitude, questions if relaxing like this is wise. Goku reassures him, suggesting that things will probably work out in the end, which catches Gohan's attention. Despite his son's unease with the uncertainty though, Goku's confidence in their ability to win is evident. After a while, the three drive down the road. Goku remarks that all the shops are closed, to which Chi-Chi explains that people believe they only have 7 days to live due to the Cell games. Amidst this, a radio broadcast captures their attention, where a newsman announces the Royal Army's mobilization to confront the creature known as Cell. Reacting urgently, Goku intervenes, imploring them to halt their approach as it would only lead to their deaths. An array of tanks, planes, and soldiers converge upon Cell's location, brimming with misguided confidence. Cell departs and lands on a nearby mountain, stating that he doesn't want to damage his new arena. The Royal Army unleash an onslaught of missiles, gunfire, and other explosions on Cell, Goku's family following the developments through a radio broadcast, witnessing the futility of the assault. The commander eventually tells everyone to hold their fire, but despite their attempts to engage, Cell remained unharmed. As the survivors attempt to retreat, Cell dismissively eliminates them with only a glimpse of his power, leading Goku to switch off the radio in anger. Decisively, Goku instructs Chi-Chi and Gohan to head home as he intends to go see Piccolo. Exiting the vehicle, he vanishes using instant transmission. Upon his arrival at the lookout, Goku immediately wonders if Piccolo used the hyperbolic time chamber again, to which the Namekian confirms. Goku assumes that Piccolo's power has significantly increased, however, he states that he still isn't strong enough to beat Cell. The conversation shifts to Goku's request to split Piccolo and Kami once more, given the Dragon Balls were turned to stone after their merger and they need them again to bring everyone back who Cell killed. However, Piccolo states that such a thing is impossible, as once he and Kami fuse, they can never separate again. Goku acknowledges the response and proposes seeking the surviving Namekian's planet as a solution to restore the Dragon Balls. He says that if one of them will be willing to come live on Earth, they could become a god like Kami was, and the Dragon Balls will be restored. Goku declares his intent to locate the Namekians, and Mr. Popo expresses his openness to having a new guardian of the Earth. Piccolo questions Goku's travel plans, considering their limited time and lack of knowledge about the Namekian's destination. Goku, however, tells Piccolo he isn't thinking, stating once again he possesses the instant transmission technique and plans to detect individuals with a ki resembling Piccolo's. Goku's initial attempt at finding the Namekians proves unsuccessful, prompting him to consider utilizing King Kai's planet for assistance as he teleports away. Meanwhile, at Kame House, Krillin, Yamcha, and Master Roshi tune into a TV broadcast featuring King Furry. He takes responsibility for the failed army attack against Cell and expresses hope for a savior's emergence, more specifically someone like the boy who defeated Demon King Piccolo long ago. Goku reaches King Kai's planet and greets Bubble bubbles before conversing with the Kai, who is napping. Goku begins telling the Kai about the Earth's extraordinary events, and he helps Goku by pointing him in the direction of the Namekians' new home. Goku begins to pick up the Namekians' location, prompting King Kai to acknowledge Goku's use of instant transmission, stating how he must have learned it from Yardrat. The Saiyan then teleports away, having locked on to the planet's key signature. Upon arriving at New Namek, the Namekians are surprised by Goku's presence. He identifies himself, and the tribe immediately recognize him, stating he was the one who defeated Frieza and saved them all. Goku then explains his mission, mentioning the need for a new guardian of Earth. The Namekian leader Mori introduces Dende, the Namekian boy who'd ventured with Krillin and Gohan on Namek in their battle against Frieza. Mori mentions Dende's desire to visit the two again after so many years, prompting Goku to ask if he'd be able to make Dragon Balls. Mori confirms Dende's ability, stating he's a true descendant of the Dragon Clan and will be more than capable of becoming a new god of Earth. Goku expresses gratitude and welcomes Dende, bidding the Namekians a farewell before returning to King Kai's planet briefly to report the success. Goku proceeds to the lookout on Earth with Dende, where Piccolo and the others await. Dende's arrival surprises them, and Goku leaves the Namekian boy with them to grab Krillin and Gohan. Meanwhile, at Kame House, Krillin and Yamcha continue to watch TV, witnessing a broadcast on a human fighter named Hercule, who will be entering the Cell games. Hercule claims that Cell's nothing but a pushover, stating he used bombs ahead of time to get rid of Earth's military. Hercule then vows to wipe the floor with Cell, as an unimpressed Krillin watches on, saying he'll probably die soon. Goku then appears at Kame House, inviting Krillin to join him to see Dende again. Goku, Gohan, and Krillin all arrive back at the lookout, where Gohan and Krillin reunite with Dende once again. Amidst the excitement of their reunion, Trunks questions Goku on if his calm demeanor stems from discovering Cell's weak point, but Goku is uncertain if a vulnerability exists in Cell, confusing Trunks. Piccolo is curious about Dende's ability to create Dragon Balls, but Goku reassures him that the Elder Namekian praised Dende's skills. Dende believes he can craft Dragon Balls within around 100 days, but Goku's surprised it'll take that long. However, Dende states a more immediate solution. He can make the Dragon Balls right away if they use the ones on Earth that had previously turned to stone. Krillin expresses his approval and wonders whether Dende could make them grant 3 wishes like the Namekian dragon. Dende confirms this possibility, but raises the concern that in order to revive a large group of people simultaneously, the wishes would have to be limited to 2. Piccolo finds this arrangement acceptable, prompting Dende to request the dragon's design. Mr. Popo retrieves it for him, and standing over the casing, Dende employs his magical abilities, causing light to emanate from it and descend to the earth. Dende declares that the Dragon Ball should now be restored, leading Piccolo to admire Dende's impressive talent. Goku decides to borrow the Dragon Radar from Bulma to locate the Dragon Balls and gather them. He suggests that Gohan take a break from training and spend time with Dende until the Cell games, but this confuses him. Goku teleports away, and Trunks questions Gohan about his dad's seemingly carefree attitude, considering Cell's strength and lack of a known weakness. Gohan is equally puzzled, stating his dad just told him to look forward to the tournament, bewildering Trunks. Krillin speculates that Goku must have some sort of plan, but Piccolo states he might just be believing that forthcoming events are already predetermined, and the group falls silent. Goku arrives at Bulma's laboratory, where she and Dr. Brief are working on number 16. Goku takes the Dragon Radar and proceeds to collect the Dragon Balls, and as time goes by, Vegeta emerges from the hyperbolic time chamber and Cell stands in his arena, wondering if 10 days of waiting was excessive. Eventually, Goku gathers all 7 Dragon Balls and the world pins its hopes on Hercule, the supposed world-fighting champion who claims he can take on Cell. Finally, the awaited day of the 17th arrives. Goku changes into his training attire and begins to depart, Chi-Chi pleading for him to be careful. She also tells him to prevent Gohan from fighting at any cost, but Goku brushes off her concerns and leaves, much to her dismay. Meanwhile, at the lookout, Goku finds Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, Trunks, Dende, and Mr. Popo assembled. Goku questions where Vegeta is, but Piccolo states he's already departed. Goku then questions everyone's silence moments after and wonders what's wrong. Krillin explains that while the Dragon Balls can resurrect many people with a single wish, the same limitation remains. Only those who have never died before can be revived. Dende apologizes for not revealing this sooner, but Goku reassures him, expressing confidence that they won't die. Krillin is skeptical of Goku's optimism, but Goku remains undeterred, urging them to hurry up so they'll make it on time. In the arena, Cell awaits, while a reporter and cameraman observe him from a cliff, fearing for their safety. Moments later, Hercule arrives, showing off to the world and confident in his abilities. Hercule gets Cell's attention, declaring to take him down with a hand gesture, much to the excitement of the camera crew and citizens of the Earth. As Cell ponders on who this insect is, the stage is set, as there are now only 15 minutes until the Cell games begin. 12 minutes before the commencement, Hercule is already making his way into the ring. He motions for the announcer and cameraman to join him, and they oblige, with the announcer boldly declaring himself the world's most courageous. They climb into into the ring as well, aiming to interview Hercule. Hercule states he feels bad for Cell as he's about to be defeated, then exposes him, claiming he used bombs in the destruction of Central City and the military. Cell pays no attention, but Hercule assumes it's because he's afraid to face the truth. In a defiant gesture, the announcer flips Cell off while Hercule moons him. Meanwhile, Master Roshi watches this on TV, stating he wouldn't mind if Hercule got killed. Suddenly, the announcer's attention shifts as a figure flies in. Cell identifies the newcomer as Vegeta, noting he never learns his lesson but hopes he's improved a little. As the Saiyan Prince lands, the announcer questions whether Vegeta was flying, but Hercule dismisses it as a trick. The announcer approaches Vegeta, inquiring about his identity and expressing concern for his safety. However, Vegeta brushes him off, commanding him to leave him alone. Returning to Hercule's side, the announcer comments on Vegeta's peculiar behavior and says his hairstyle's weird. The countdown then continues, with only 5 minutes remaining until the start of the Cell games. Number 16 arrives next, sporting a capsule core patch concealing the red ribbon logo, surprising Cell as he managed to fix himself up. Vegeta deduces that only Bulma and her father could have repaired the android, then states it was a waste of effort. Soon after, Cell notices another group approaching and announces the arrival of Son Goku. 7 figures descend and land: Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, Trunks, and Goku, all standing ready for the battle that'll decide the fate of the Earth. The announcer is shocked at everyone's flying abilities, but Hercule states it must be a popular trick. 16 approaches Krillin, expressing gratitude for his repairs. Goku wishes 16 well, but the android firmly reminds him of his original purpose to kill him, stating that he'd be wise to remember that. Soon after, Goku volunteers to go first, surprising Trunks as he figured they'd save the best for last. Goku wonders if Vegeta's okay with this, and the Saiyan Prince remains indifferent, confident that he'll still be the one to defeat Cell. Amidst their conversation, Hercule interjects, asserting that they don't have the authority to determine the order. The announcer questions the group's participation, and Goku confirms their readiness, although the announcer exclaims that this isn't a game and chastises their ignorance. Krillin retorts that the ones who truly aren't aware are the announcer and Hercule, who boast about the world champion. Krillin tells Goku to just let Hercule go first, and amid the banter, Cell interrupts, signaling that it's time to begin. Cell impatiently instructs someone to enter the ring quickly, prompting Hercule to confidently declare that he will go first. Goku warns Hercule of the danger and advises him to reconsider, but his words fall on deaf ears as the announcer directs the cameraman to capture Goku on TV, relaying to the world the Saiyan's comments and leading many viewers to perceive Goku as foolish. At King Castle, the king observes the scene and draws parallels between the stranger and the boy who once saved the world from Demon King Piccolo long ago. However, differences in hair and eye color make him realize that it can't be the same person. Another individual amongst the group bears a striking resemblance to Demon King Piccolo as well, which the king questions. Krillin attempts to console Goku, assuring him that Hercule can be resurrected using the Dragon Balls. With a reassuring wave, Goku conveys that it's alright, and the announcer assumes that Goku now realizes Hercule's greatness. Hercule removes his cape and championship belt, locking eyes with Cell for a moment. He then brings out a capsule, opens it, and unveils a large bag containing 15 tiles. Hercule stacks and focuses his energy before executing a precise chop that obliterates 14 tiles, much to the world's excitement. However, the group, including Goku, falls into an awed silence while Cell considers Hercule a complete fool. Confident, Hercule proudly points out the shattered tiles, linking them to Cell's fate in just a minute. As the world cheers on, he believes this spectacle will boost his popularity, especially with the event being captured on TV. Assuming a fighting stance, Hercule charges at Cell, delivering a dynamite kick to Cell's face and unleashing a fury of punches. Things are looking great for the world champion until Cell eventually swats him aside, flinging him into a nearby mountain. In a hushed tone, Krillin confesses to Gohan that he was secretly hoping for Cell's victory. Despite crashing into what seemed like certain death, Hercule miraculously survives, much to Krillin and Piccolo's disappointment. The world is taken aback as Cell managed to eliminate Hercule. In response, Cell announces the immediate commencement of the Cell games, and Goku steps forward. Hercule attributes his defeat to merely losing his footing and promises to get serious next time, although Vegeta in the distance expresses disbelief at Hercule's failure to recognize how weak he truly is against Cell. Goku enters the ring, drawing the attention of everyone present. Cell lowers his previously crossed arms and comments on the impending excitement of the battle, assuming a ready stance. Trunks anticipates that everyone will finally discover the reason behind Goku's peculiar calmness, and the announcer broadcasts to the world that Hercule is currently on break, during which an unknown member of the group will step in to fight. He questions Hercule's opinion regarding this unfamiliar challenger, and Hercule dismisses the competitor's stance as that of an amateur. He asserts that Goku wouldn't last 2 seconds against against him and states he'll give him about 5 against Cell. With Cell ready to go, Goku charges forward. Cell efficiently blocks a kick and a punch from Goku, who then evades a strike by ducking. A brief exchange of blows ensues between the two, culminating in Goku executing a backflip to create distance. Cell propels himself toward Goku with a headlong rush, but Goku raises his arms in defense. As Cell prepares to strike Goku, the latter instead employs a kick to launch Cell into the air. Goku follows suit, channeling a Kamehameha wave in his pursuit, but Cell effortlessly swats the energy attack aside. Seizing an opportunity, Goku materializes behind Cell, delivering a punch to his back. Enraged, Cell retaliates by striking Goku's face and sends him flying back into the ring with an attack on the back. Goku manages to stop his descent, landing gracefully as Cell also touches down. Cell then declares that the warm-up is over, leaving both Hercule and the announcer astounded by what they've witnessed. Goku and Cell lock eyes in an intense gaze, prompting Krillin to believe that the real battle is about to commence. The announcer is impressed by the capabilities of the unknown competitor and seeks Hercule's opinion. Nervously, Hercule concedes that the performance was better than he anticipated, but states that it might be the peak of the competitor's abilities. Goku and Cell share contemplative thoughts about each other before Goku's demeanor shifts, asking Cell if he's ready for what's coming. Trunks observes a change in Goku's eyes, while Cell perceives that Goku is tapping into his full power. With a surge of energy, Goku begins to power up, creating a forceful gust that pushes everyone away. When Goku's power-up concludes, Vegeta, Trunks, and Krillin are all astonished by his newfound strength. Gohan, however, ponders the reason behind everyone's astonishment. The announcer expresses bewilderment at the explosive display and notices an aura resembling flames surrounding the unknown competitor. Cell, in turn, also embarks on a power-up, generating an even more forceful shockwave that sends everyone further back. Now, both Cell and Goku are enveloped in radiant energy. The announcer remarks on Cell's similar action, prompting Hercule to dismiss it as a mere gimmick. Goku advances towards Cell, who encourages him to get started. Goku strikes Cell with a series of blows, a punch to the stomach, an elbow to the back, a kick, and a final punch. The impact propels Cell through the air, where he manages to stop his flight while hanging upside down. Cell relishes the situation, remarking that the true essence of a fight would be lost without utilizing their true strength. Goku agrees, affirming his willingness to engage at his peak. The announcer and Hercule are shocked, and the announcer questions if the cameraman was able to capture the fight. However, the cameraman says he couldn't get something that fast. Cell, on the ground again, wipes a trickle of blood from the side of his mouth and then starts up a Kamehameha. Goku yells at him to stop, as if he uses that wave with too much power, he'll destroy the earth. Cell continues anyway, and so Goku heads up into the air, Cell then firing it off at him. The Kamehameha is tremendously huge, shooting way out into space, and Goku just barely manages to escape its path with instant transmission. Goku reappears behind Cell and kicks him before he can react. Cell is pissed and wants to know how the Saiyan can reappear and disappear at will. Goku says it's instant transmission, prompting Cell to state how annoying it is. Goku then questions Cell if he would have blown up the earth if he hadn't jumped into the air, and Cell states he doesn't know, but he did know Goku was gonna try to fly to divert it. Cell states that he doesn't care about destroying the planet, but wants to have a little fun before then. The monster then charges forward before Goku can react and knocks Goku in the face. Goku tries to retaliate, but Cell hits him from behind, knocking Goku into the ground. Goku pushes himself up into the air, but Cell vanishes behind him, knocking Goku back into the ring. As Goku tries to recover, Cell vanishes behind him again, stating that even though he can't use instant transmission, he's confident in his own speed. Cell lands a forceful punch on Goku's face and attempts another, but Goku evades by ducking and counters by kicking Cell into the air. Goku swiftly teleports above Cell and delivers an aerial strike, only for it to be an illusion. The actual Cell emerges behind Goku, swiping at him, yet Goku narrowly manages to evade. Suspended in mid-air, they leave spectators like Hercule and the announcer puzzled about their whereabouts, while Krillin marvels at their incredible speed. Cell expresses his enjoyment of the battle and decides to eliminate the rule of ring outs as a mean of ending the fight prematurely. Realizing what he's about to do, Goku urgently shouts for everyone to move away from the ring as Cell lowers his hands toward the ground, poised to obliterate it. A massive explosion ensues, creating a gaping hole where the ring once stood. Everyone successfully escapes harm, thanks in part to number 16, who protected Hercule and the others. Despite 16's instructions for them to leave, they remain in place, confident that Hercule will get another turn to fight. Goku and Cell both touch down to the ground, and Cell remarks that their battleground is now the entire Earth. Victory will now hinge on either surrender or death as they agree to proceed. Cell launches a barrage of energy blasts, which Goku successfully evades, subsequently taking to the air. Preparing a Kamehameha attack, Goku draws Cell's attention. However, Cell warns Goku of the potential devastation if he he were to unleash the attack from his current position, as it would put the Earth in jeopardy. Undeterred, Goku continues charging his blast, and as the attack nears completion, a look of surprise dawns on Cell's face, recognizing that Goku is truly preparing to unleash the blast, putting both him and the Earth at risk. Piccolo ponders whether Goku truly intends to unleash the full power Kamehameha. However, Krillin is skeptical, assuming Goku wouldn't risk destroying the Earth, a sentiment shared by Cell. Ignoring the doubts, Goku persists, and both Cell and Vegeta come to realize his determination. Unexpectedly, Goku teleports instantaneously and materializes directly in front of Cell. He unleashes the Kamehameha at full force, propelling Cell backward and blowing the top half of his body away. When the smoke dissipates, Cell's body, now devoid of its head and arms, lies on the ground. While Yamcha displays excitement, stating Goku's won, Trunks and Krillin remain silent. Goku acknowledges that Cell still possesses a significant amount of energy despite his state, prompting Krillin to shout that Cell is likely to regenerate. Remarkably, the remnants of Cell swiftly rise to its feet, undergoing a process of regeneration that culminates in the regrowth of its head and limbs. The announcer and Hercule react with astonishment, while Goku comprehends Cell's capacity for self-regeneration, just like Piccolo. Goku acknowledges his initial underestimation of the battle's intensity, though he notes that Cell's energy level has significantly diminished. Cell recognizes a similar decrease in Goku's energy and observes he looks tired. Advising Goku against spending energy needlessly, Cell cautions against jeopardizing the excitement of the fight. Goku agrees and launches a punch towards Cell, but Cell manages to evade. Goku successfully blocks a kick before succumbing to a blow to the face, and Cell is hit as well. Cell delivers a forceful punch to Goku, propelling him into a nearby mountain. Cell advances toward the Saiyan, who emerges from the rubble and launches a barrage of energy blasts. Goku pins Cell down, but Cell counters by creating a massive barrier to intercept the blast, a spectacle witnessed by the people worldwide through their televisions. At Kame House, Bulma watches alongside Master Roshi, believing Goku is performing admirably. However, Roshi holds a different perspective. He doubts Goku's chances of victory, recognizing that his pupil is well aware of this predicament and suspects some hidden strategy. Back at the battlefield, the barrier dissipates, leaving Goku heavily panting. Cell remarks on Goku's apparent decrease in strength and offers him a senzu bean to even the odds, proposing a more exhilarating battle. Amidst the turmoil, Trunks implores Krillin to provide Goku with the senzu bean, asserting that it would ensure their victory. However, Vegeta rebukes Trunks, claiming that his suggestion lacks Saiyan pride. He believes Goku would rather die than win under such circumstances, and admits his frustration at realizing he couldn't surpass Goku, even with his specialized training. Vegeta reluctantly acknowledges Goku's innate genius, but recognizes Cell as being 2 steps above Goku. Trunks questions their role in the situation, and Vegeta counters that Trunks is usually the one speculating about Goku's hidden plans, urging him to have faith. Addressing Goku, Cell questions if his pride is preventing him from eating a senzu bean, suggesting that his odds of victory may increase slightly if he does. Goku maintains silence, then smirks, and his aura recedes. Everyone wonders what's going on, and suddenly, Goku admits defeat, stating that he understands how strong Cell is and that he can't beat him. Shock ripples through the Z Fighters and Cell, and the cameraman relays the surrender to Hercule and the announcer. Cell turns to Goku, emphasizing that if he indeed intends to surrender, the fate of the Earth is sealed. Goku, however, counters that there remains one more contender, and Cell dismisses the distinction, asserting that Vegeta and Trunks were both weaker than Goku. The announcer informs Hercule that he's up next, eliciting a distressed reaction from him. A sudden wave of stomach cramps hits Hercule, and he's unable to fight. Goku questions whether he can select the next fighter, leading Cell to realize that Goku is indeed contemplating surrender. Vegeta voices confusion about the situation, grappling with the realization that there appears to be no other fighters capable of defeating Cell. Goku states that the Cell games will conclude with this next fight. If the contender can't emerge victorious, nobody can. The identity of this person leaves everyone intrigued. Goku affirms his statement after battling Cell and expresses his confidence in the forthcoming combatant, entrusting the outcome entirely to this individual. Cell questions whether Goku implies that this contender is stronger than the both of them, to which Goku confirms. Eager to learn the identity, Cell questions further as everyone watches in silence. Goku then turns to his friends and calls on his own son, Gohan, to battle Cell next. The announcement stuns everyone, including Gohan himself. Piccolo deems Goku's decision foolish, seemingly willing to witness his son's demise. Goku ascends to the cliff where the others are and addresses Gohan, asking him if he thinks he can do it. Gohan's astonishment is noticeable, while Piccolo voices skepticism about Gohan's potential to fight. Goku claims that Gohan's strength is underestimated, pointing out that his son has always managed to keep pace with them, even as a little boy. He then goes on to say that even even he wasn't nearly as strong as Gohan is when he was his age. Krillin expresses doubt regarding Gohan's considerable strength, but Goku reveals that within the hyperbolic time chamber, Gohan's latent powers began to manifest. Goku reminds Gohan of his previous bout with Cell, asking if at any moment he felt like Cell was too strong to handle. Gohan acknowledges that he never felt that way, but it had to be due to Goku only using partial strength. Goku, however, states that he can't speak for Cell, but he was giving the fight everything he had. Goku then questions Gohan on if it looked to him as if he was holding back, and Gohan confirms, shocking Vegeta, who struggles to fathom the extent of the young boy's power. Goku urges Gohan to take action, thereby restoring peace to the world and fulfilling his aspirations of becoming a scholar. As his father's words fuel him, Gohan agrees to fight, removing his armor and moving towards Cell. Goku then calls on Krillin for a sensu bean, which he promptly tosses to Cell, suggesting he eat it to restore his energy. Krillin and the others find this act to be completely foolish, while Goku is intent on ensuring a fair fight. Cell tells Goku that he'll regret his decision, but ingests the sensu bean anyway. Now reinvigorated, Cell powers up once again. Piccolo tells Goku his actions were reckless, and suddenly, Gohan embarks on a power-up of his own that generates a powerful shockwave, leaving everyone in awe. Astonishment dawns everyone's faces as they witness Gohan's astounding power, an exception being Goku, who seems unfazed by the display. Piccolo's surprised to see how Gohan's grown, while Vegeta questions how the young boy could have achieved such a remarkable surge in power. Cell concedes that Goku may have been telling the truth in describing Gohan's strength, yet he regards his assertion of Gohan's capability to defeat him as an exaggeration, one that will ultimately lead to his son's demise. Touching down, Cell's focus shifts to Gohan, initiating an attack with a kick that Gohan effectively blocks. Cell withdraws momentarily before launching another assault, but Gohan quickly evades each attempt. The two adversaries land back on solid ground, Cell stating that he'll need to use his full speed to catch Gohan. In a swift sequence of movements, Cell seizes Gohan by the shirt, delivering a powerful headbutt followed by a forceful blow to the face. Cell then hurls Gohan skyward, launching a shockwave to propel him through a series of mountains. Concern envelops Krillin and Trunks, while Chi-Chi, viewing from home alongside the Ox King, faints after seeing her child hurt. The announcer expresses bewilderment over the sudden turn of events, and Piccolo lays the blame squarely on Goku for his naivety, contending that the Saiyans' actions are responsible for Gohan's death. Goku, however, tells Piccolo to calm down, assuring him that Gohan is still alive. Krillin and Trunks also detect Gohan's undiminished energy, but Cell, believing Gohan to be defeated, tells Goku to come on and continue their fight. Goku, however, redirects Cell's attention to a surprising development. Cell pivots, observing Gohan emerging from the rubble, remarkably unscathed. The sight of Gohan leaves Cell visibly astonished, as he states he's tougher than he thought. Calmly, Gohan tells Cell to put an end to this fight, as it's meaningless. Cell responds with laughter, asserting that the Cell games indeed possess meaning. For him, they serve as amusement, and for others, they represent Earth's salvation. Gohan then shares his perspective, disclosing that he lacks the desire to fight or to kill, even someone as despicable as Cell. Cell acknowledges that he understands Gohan's aversion to fight, but doesn't understand why he wouldn't want to kill him. Gohan then tells Cell of what his father meant regarding his potential. He recalls that when consumed by anger, he harnessed an incredible involuntary surge of power, leading to extraordinary combat abilities. Cell, however, dismisses Gohan's words as an attempt to intimidate him, countering by telling him that all he wants to do now is see the boy angry to know if he's telling the truth, then delivering a punch to Gohan's face. Cell delivers a forceful strike with his elbow to the back of Gohan's neck, promptly following it up with a kick that sends him flying. As Gohan regains his footing, Cell charges forward, launching a punch that Gohan expertly evades by leaping over it. In a swift counter, Gohan delivers a powerful kick to Cell's face, causing him to crash to the ground. Cell quickly rises, wiping a trace of blood from the corner of his mouth, determined to provoke Gohan's anger at any cost. Goku views Cell's attempt as advantageous, believing that Cell's efforts will trigger Gohan's dormant power. Suddenly, Cell launches a technique reminiscent of Frieza, a one-finger energy blast at Gohan, who narrowly evades each successive attack. Cell persists, firing a series of shots, with Gohan barely managing to avoid them all. Gohan successfully dodges one final blast, prompting Cell to close in and seize Gohan in a tight embrace, squeezing and inflicting excruciating pain on him. Cell continues to goad Gohan, pushing him to unleash his anger, but he refuses to do so. Despite Piccolo's urge to step in, Goku remains stern, asserting that Gohan's true power will only manifest if he gets angry. Goku reveals that this is the only means by which Cell can be defeated, and overhearing this conversation, the others are astounded by the potential of Gohan's power. Meanwhile, Cell maintains his grip on Gohan, persistently encouraging him to succumb to his anger. Piccolo then confronts Goku, expressing his concern and questioning if Gohan is aware of Goku's strategy. Piccolo suggests that Gohan's thoughts revolve around his father's apparent indifference to his suffering, perhaps due to prioritizing fairness in battle over Gohan's well-being. Piccolo tells Goku that despite his strength, Gohan's still a child, which prompts the Saiyan to second-guess himself. Eager to assist Gohan, Piccolo readies himself to intervene as Goku watches his son in awe. Goku then prompts Krillin to give him a sensu bean so he can help, but just as he was about to do so, Cell abruptly releases Gohan, stating he's persistent in his efforts to hide his true power. Cell guesses that if Gohan won't be enticed by his own suffering, perhaps the anguish of his friends will suffice. With determination, Cell sets a course toward Goku and the others, prompting Gohan to shout for him to stop. Cell ascends onto the cliff where the Z fighters are. Swiftly seizing the bag of sensu from Krillin's grasp, Cell asserts that they could get in the way of his plans before returning to Gohan's side. With an air of superiority, Cell contends that individuals like Goku and the others stand no chance against his might. Gohan questions Cell's intentions, prompting Cell to reveal his scheme. He aims to instigate Gohan's anger by inflicting harm upon his friends, banking on the unleashed power that accompanies Gohan's fury. Gohan tells Cell to stop, stating that he's unable to control his anger at will. However, Cell explains that this is why he'll hurt his friends. Cell looks toward the cliff, drawing concerned warnings from Piccolo, while Goku wishes he'd eaten a sensu bean when he had the chance. In a determined charge, Gohan lunges at Cell, only to be effortlessly kicked away. Cell urges Gohan to fully embrace his anger if he intends to harness its true potential, and suddenly, number 16 stealthily approaches from behind, executing an unconventional restraining hold on Cell. The unexpected move stuns everyone, and 16 reveals his plan to self-destruct, stating that Cell won't be able to survive a blast at such close range. Anticipation fills the air, yet the detonation fails to happen, perplexing 16. Krillin then yells to 16, stating that during his repair at Capsule Corps, Dr. Brief found the bomb in his body and removed it as he thought it was too dangerous. Cell's sinister laughter follows as he mocks 16, culminating a fatal blast that reduces the android to mere fragments on the battlefield. The severed head of 16 lands nearby, and Cell tells him that he's always been a failed creation as he kicks him over to the nearby rock, frightening Hercule and the others. Cell shifts his focus back to the cliff, his attention now on the Z fighters. He states that it's their turn next and counts 7 of them altogether. With what was once his tail, Cell then creates many replicas of himself, naming them Cell Juniors. Cell commands his newly spawned minions to engage their adversaries on the cliff, dispatching them with ruthless intent. Amidst Goku's urgent warnings for everyone to be careful, Vegeta and Trunks power up to Super Saiyan, and Cell remains convinced that victory is impossible for the Z fighters, confident that the Cell Juniors will prove to be unbeatable. The Cell Juniors reach the cliff and select individual targets. One of them singles out Krillin, evading his punch and delivering a forceful kick that sends him flying to the ground. Krillin lands on his stomach, and the Cell Jr. delivers a sharp knee to his back. In the midst of this chaos, Gohan thinks to himself that everyone except Trunks has been brought back to life with the Dragon Balls once already, meaning if anyone dies this time, it'll be forever. Exploiting Krillin's vulnerability, one Cell Jr. kicks him while he's down, while another strikes Yamcha's face, and another inflicts a powerful kick on Tien. Gohan's frustration simmers, and Cell detects a subtle rise in his ki. Cell urges Gohan to observe the ongoing battles, noting that Vegeta and Trunks are the only ones able to put up a decent fight. Cell goes on to say that Goku used up all his strength earlier, so it's only a matter of time before he falls as well. Yamcha's arm is dealt a powerful blow, and although Vegeta lands a punch, the Cell Jr. retaliates just as fiercely. Meanwhile, another Cell Jr. forcefully kicks Tien and propels him backward. Another targets Goku, delivering a knee to his midsection as the Saiyan apologizes to everyone, stating he didn't think things would turn out this way. Witnessing the ongoing carnage, Gohan realizes the incredible dormant strength within him, but struggles internally, questioning how he can channel his anger effectively to defeat Cell. Amid the chaos, Hercule wonders what's going on, while the announcer suggests a hasty retreat. However, 16's detached head speaks with Hercule, asking him to take him to Gohan. Hercule is of course hesitant at first, realizing the danger of the situation, but soon changes his mind, feeling he couldn't possibly run away while the no-named fighters were out there protecting them. Clutching 16's head, Hercule runs over to Gohan, getting instructions from the android to toss him over when the time is right. As the conflict escalates, a Cell Jr. flings Krillin into the side of a nearby rock, another strikes Yamcha while he's down, and Tien crashes heavily to the ground nearby. Overwhelmed by the brutality of the situation, Gohan begs for the violence to stop as tears run down his face. Observing the boy's emotional turmoil, Cell surmises that more is needed to draw out Gohan's full potential, kill. He then commands the Cell Juniors to stop playing and kill their targets, which shocks Gohan. The boys' anger intensifies, and Cell urges the Cell Juniors to continue their assault. Amidst the chaos, Hercule throws 16's head, which lands between Cell and Gohan. 16 then imparts his words of wisdom onto Gohan, encouraging him to embrace his anger, releasing his inhibitions and tapping into his inner strength. 16 then tells Gohan that there are those who words alone will not reach, and it's not a sin to fight for the right cause. While Cell mocks the wisdom of this advice, he remains committed to his own course of action. In his final words, 16 tells Gohan to protect the life he loved, and he's crushed beneath Cell's foot. Just then, a hush descends as Gohan's composed demeanor shatters, giving way to an immense scream that accompanies a profound surge in his power. The earth quivers beneath the force, capturing the attention of spectators who are left in awe, their focus now fixated on the newly transformed Gohan and the remarkable outpouring of energy. Gohan's transformation is evident as his hair lengthens and straightens, retaining its characteristic upright appearance while his aura radiates with lightning. With unwavering determination, Gohan strides resolutely towards Cell, stating he and the Cell Juniors will pay dearly for what they've done. Cell finds gratification in witnessing Gohan's true power. However, Gohan quickly snatches the bag of senzu beans from his grasp and takes off, much to his surprise. Gohan touches down beside a Cell Junior standing over Krillin. Swift and relentless, he neutralizes the threat with a single powerful swipe, severing the Cell Junior's head. The display leaves everyone, particularly Cell, in a state of shock, but Goku responds with a knowing chuckle, having anticipated this outcome from the very beginning. The remaining Cell Juniors converge on Gohan, only to meet their demise in rapid succession. Gohan dispatches them effortlessly, each with a single decisive blow. As the 7th Cell Junior attempts to flee, Gohan pursues and effortlessly disposes of it, severing its upper body with a single strike. Cell's surprise becomes evident, and the other Z fighters stand in awe at Gohan's amazing power. Gohan then tosses the bag of senzu beans to Trunks, instructing him to take care of the others. Gohan lands alongside Cell, their gazes locked in an intense standoff. The gravity of the situation isn't lost on Vegeta, unable to fathom the unfolding events. After receiving a senzu bean from Trunks, Krillin learns that Gohan had retrieved the beans from Cell. Trunks suggests retreating to a safer distance, but Krillin is captivated by Gohan's newfound transformation. Cell questions if Gohan genuinely believes he can beat him, and in response, Gohan confidently states his capability to overcome Cell. Somewhat taken aback, Cell then confidently promises to unleash his full fury on Gohan. Yamcha, now healed along with Trunks, Krillin, and Vegeta, observe from a distance as Cell begins his power surge, causing a massive dust storm. As the dust settles, Gohan remains undeterred, while Goku remarks that Cell is now using his full power. Cell announces his intent to get serious, but Gohan remains unfazed, telling him he still looks weak, leaving Cell both shocked and amused. Without warning, Cell lunges at Gohan, landing a blow to his face. Gohan staggers momentarily, but seems mostly unfazed, much to Cell's disbelief. As Cell attempts another punch, Gohan deflects it, retaliating with a forceful hit to Cell's stomach. Reeling from the impact, Cell swiftly tries to strike Gohan, who effortlessly dodges and counterattacks with a powerful uppercut, launching Cell backwards. Bloodied and battered, Cell struggles to comprehend the immense damage he sustained from merely 2 of Gohan's hits, while Goku stands proud and Vegeta still in awe at what he's witnessing. Cell struggles to come to terms with the unfolding situation while Gohan approaches him. Attempting a kick, Cell tries to attack Gohan, but the half Saiyan effortlessly blocks Cell's move. Seizing the opportunity, Gohan delivers a powerful kick to Cell's face, sending him skidding across the terrain. Rising, a mix of fear and disbelief are evident in Cell's eyes as Gohan comes closer. Struggling to fathom the existence of a being mightier than him, Cell's face fills with fear. However, a sly grin crosses his face as he hatches a plan, stating that he still won't lose. Ascending, Cell begins to channel all his energy into a Kamehameha directed squarely at Gohan below. The implication is clear: if Gohan dodges, the Earth will be destroyed. Panic ensues amongst the Z fighters, but Gohan remains composed. As Cell releases his massive energy wave, Gohan responds in kind, beginning with a quiet Kamehame, and as the energy approaches him rapidly, he intensifies his cry, releasing his own wave. The power behind Gohan's attack repels Cell's beam, forcing it skyward and creating a shockwave that pushes everyone back. Cell is hit squarely, with his energy beam eventually venturing into the cosmos. The aftermath reveals a severely damaged Cell, missing several limbs and part of his head, while Gohan stands confidently below, wearing a triumphant smirk. smirk. Cell is in disbelief at the overwhelming power before him, while Vegeta remarks on how Gohan managed to outdo Cell's already colossal Kamehameha with an even more immense one. Gohan maintains his confident stance, eliciting urgent cries from Goku to swiftly end Cell's reign of terror. Gohan, however, playfully retorts, as he figures ending Cell so soon wouldn't be fun, and he deserves to suffer more. Goku and Piccolo are taken aback by this unexpected sentiment from Gohan, and as Cell begins his regeneration process, Goku emphasizes that Gohan is the only one who can defeat him, and he should hurry before Cell does something drastic. Gasping for breath, an enraged Cell lets out a furious scream. His body enlarges in fury, showcasing his immense muscles. Landing, he reveals a deranged smile and declares he'll never lose. As he lunges at Gohan, his attacks are easily evaded. Trunks points out that Cell has taken on a form prioritizing raw strength over agility, recalling it as a tactical error he'd been warned against in the past. In an unexpected turn of events, Gohan rushes in and viciously kicks Cell in the face, contorting his already bloody demeanor with a crack now evident in his head. Cell contorts in discomfort and regurgitates number 18 from his body, much to the surprise of the Z Fighters. This causes Cell to revert to his previous form, prompting Gohan to mock the monster as his power decreases, infuriating Cell further. As Cell screams in anger, his body begins to swell and inflate dramatically, catching Gohan's attention. The scene is thick with tension as everyone tries to comprehend the situation. However, Goku senses imminent danger. With a sinister laugh, Cell reveals his plan to self-destruct within 1 minute, taking both Gohan and everyone else with him. He taunts Gohan, who planned to intervene, claiming any assault would hasten his explosive end. As Cell continues to swell with energy, the countdown ensues and panic grips the group. Gohan is filled with regret, recalling Goku's prior warning about eliminating Cell quickly. Blaming himself, Gohan despairs at the dire predicament they're now in. As the clock ticks down, Trunks speculates they have only 10 seconds, while Piccolo grimly acknowledges the Earth's impending doom, and Cell revels in their despair. Suddenly, a determined Goku looks at his companions and offers a resigned smile. He states that he only knows of one way to save the Earth and bids a farewell to everyone. In a blink, he vanishes, leaving Krillin to fearfully speculate his intention. As Cell gleefully counts down the final moments, savoring Gohan's distress, Goku re-emerges, touching Cell's grotesque form. He offers words of encouragement to Gohan and an apologetic message for Chi-Chi before teleporting once more, this time taking Cell with him. Those left behind, Gohan, Krillin, Vegeta, Piccolo, Trunks, Yamcha, and Tien, watch in various states of emotion. Elsewhere, on King Kai's planet, the Kai registers shock as Goku and Cell suddenly appear. Goku hurriedly apologizes as he had nowhere else to go, but before more could be said, Cell detonates, taking the Kai, his planet, and Goku with him. Back on Earth, the group is in disbelief, especially as Piccolo notes the disappearance of Goku's life energy. Gohan lets out a heart-wrenching call to his father, slamming his fist into the ground. Meanwhile, the announcer is puzzled, questioning Cell's sudden disappearance. Approaching the devastated Gohan, Krillin confronts him, emphasizing that both he and Goku have successfully ended the threat. Gohan reflects, regretting not heeding his father's advice earlier, but Krillin, while trying to uplift Gohan's spirits, reminds him of Earth's safety. He then collects the unconscious number 18, telling Gohan that Goku died with pride, reflecting on his son's growth. Elsewhere in the afterlife, Goku, now sporting a halo with bubbles and King Kai, expresses remorse for his actions. The trio, hovering beside Snake Way, discuss their current predicament. An irate King Kai berates Goku for sacrificing him for the Earth. Goku, however, apologizes once more, justifying his split-second decision. A curious Goku questions Cell's whereabouts, speculating if he ended up in hell. King Kai then has an alarming realization, as all souls must first face King Yama for judgment, which implies Cell might still be alive. On Earth, Vegeta confronts Krillin about his intentions with the android, urging him to end her. Krillin, however, sees good in her and refuses. Their discussion is cut short by a sudden disturbance, as a large smoke cloud appears, much to everyone's surprise. Recognizing the familiar energy signature, the group is horrified as a beam pierces Trunks through the chest, knocking him down to the ground. Emerging from the haze is Cell, now with an aura similar to Gohan's powered-up state, leaving everyone in shock. Cell begins to explain how he survived thanks to the resilience of his core, a small nucleus within him. He shares that as long as this nucleus remains intact, he can regenerate no matter the damage. Despite being unsure of his recovery after the explosion, he was fortunate that his nucleus remained undamaged. He reveals that his body also regenerated to its perfect form without number 18, 18 and even beyond, attributing this to his Saiyan cells as they amplify one's power after near-death experiences. He also discloses that he mastered Goku's instant transmission technique, ironically thanking Goku for it. As the revelation sinks in, Vegeta seethes with anger for Trunks, while Gohan, gathering his resolve, prepares for what's next. Recharged, Gohan's aura crackles to life once more, a smirk displaying on his face. Curious, Cell questions Gohan's amusement, to which the young Saiyan retorts about avenging his father. Cell is dismissive, confident about his advantage this time, while Vegeta, with a look of horror, glances back at the fallen Trunks. Filled with rage, he screams out and charges at Cell, transforming into a Super Saiyan mid-flight. He releases a large energy blast and a barrage of blasts following suit, causing massive destruction. Yet, emerging from the aftermath, an unscathed Cell catches Vegeta off guard, easily knocking him down. Poised to deliver a finishing blow, Cell releases an energy blast at the Saiyan, and in an act of desperation, Gohan intervenes, shielding Vegeta from the impact. The force of the blast has severely injured Gohan's left arm, leaving it bloody and limp, much to Cell's satisfaction. Piccolo shouts in concern for Gohan, while Krillin grumbles about Vegeta's impulsiveness, noting that Trunks could have been resurrected with the Dragon Balls. Declaring the end of the battle, Cell's tone becomes ominous, while Gohan, sensing a significant increase in Cell's strength, becomes apprehensive. Piccolo inquires about any remaining Senzu beans, but Krillin reveals they're all gone. Preparing for another Kamehameha, Cell vows to completely annihilate the Earth. As Cell powers up, a troubled Gohan braces for what comes next. Internalizing his failure, Gohan reflects, apologizing to his father for letting him down as he couldn't protect the Earth. Vegeta, regaining consciousness, expresses his regret for becoming a hindrance and apologizes to Gohan. Observing Vegeta's uncharacteristic apology, Gohan looks in surprise, realizing that Vegeta must know that they have no chance of winning. Meanwhile, Piccolo screams, realizing the gravity of the situation, and curses their lack of power. As Cell gathers energy for his blast, the Earth trembles and he boasts about possessing enough energy to destroy the entire solar system. Around the world, citizens panic due to sudden tremors. The announcer at the battlefield describes Cell's radiant and alarming aura, while Hercule dismisses it as an illusion. Cell challenges Gohan for one final defense, but Gohan, void of hope, acknowledges the futility of any resistance. Cell then mocks Gohan, anticipating a swift conclusion to the battle. However, a voice appears from thin air, telling Gohan not to surrender. Gohan searches for its source, learning that it's his father communicating from the afterlife, urging him to unleash a full-force Kamehameha. Despite Gohan's objections due to his injuries and diminished strength, Goku assures him of his potential. Cell, misinterpreting the situation, thinks Gohan's lost his mind and is talking to himself. Goku's comforting words and encouragement spark new hope in Gohan, who apologizes for being the cause of his father's demise. Goku, however, brushes off the guilt, conveying his contentment in the afterlife and wishing Gohan a fulfilling life. Determined, Gohan adopts a stance that astonishes all, especially his comrades. With a single-handed gesture, he begins to charge up his Kamehameha, mirroring Cell's energy. Despite Piccolo's doubts about Gohan's capabilities given the visible differences in their power levels, Gohan releases his Kamehameha in response to Cell's. In this intense moment, an apparition of Goku, hands positioned for the blast, appears to support his son. The two colossal Kamehameha waves surge toward each other, and recognizing the imminent danger, Piccolo urges everyone to evacuate. Krillin assists 18, while Tien and Yamcha tend to Trunks' lifeless body. As the beams clash, an enormous explosion ensues, ravaging the landscape as Earth trembles from the immense force exerted by both Gohan and Cell. Piccolo fears the worst, while Cell exclaims he'll finish everyone off now. Urging him forward, Goku tells his son to push on and let his power explode. Gohan responds, asserting he's giving it his all, but Goku counters, stating he's holding back as he's worrying about the Earth. He tells Gohan not to worry, as any damage done can be fixed by the Dragon Balls. In a climactic twist, Cell, about to declare victory, is unexpectedly struck in the face by a beam in the distance. He finds an emboldened Vegeta responsible for the attack, and seizing the moment, Gohan channels every bit of energy into his Kamehameha, overpowering Cell's. The impact annihilates Cell entirely, down to his core, and after the final explosion, exhausted and reverting from his Super Saiyan state, Gohan collapses. The aftermath reveals a vast crater in the spot once occupied by Cell, and those present reel with shock of Gohan's victory. Goku beams with pride, and a wearied Gohan grins, catching his breath. Piccolo is in disbelief that Gohan succeeded, and Yamcha is overjoyed. android. Landing beside Gohan, the group consists of Piccolo, Yamcha, Krillin cradling 18, and Tien holding Trunks. Yamcha showers Gohan with praise, and since they're out of sensu beans, Krillin suggests seeking Dende. Yamcha then takes a tired Gohan, while Tien with Trunks and Krillin with 18 depart. Before leaving, Piccolo questions if Vegeta needs help, but Vegeta with pride declares he doesn't need help from anyone. As Piccolo departs with a smirk, Vegeta initially sits in silence, acknowledging he's been utterly beaten by both Goku and his son. Frustrated that Goku gave up his life, Vegeta goes his own way, vowing to never fight again. Meanwhile, Hercule, after rising, realizes everyone's gone. When the announcer rises and questions Cell's whereabouts, Hercule confidently declares that he defeated Cell. He dismisses the previous fighter's tactics as mere tricks, and upon broadcasting Hercule's claimed victory, global celebrations erupt in his honor. At the lookout, Dende restores number 18. As Yamcha warns Dende of the possible danger, Krillin calms him, revealing Gohan's triumph over Cell. 18 learns of Gohan's power and is cautioned by Yamcha against any retaliation. She's reminded by Piccolo of Krillin's compassion after she was spit out by Cell, and out of nowhere, Gohan suggests Krillin's love for 18, earning a smack on the head. 18, however, dismisses the notion, departing after calling Krillin a runt. An agitated Yamcha threatens to teach 18 a thing or two, but is checked by Tien, who knows he'll do no such thing. Piccolo then stresses the priority of resurrecting those who were killed by Cell, and Gohan tries to console Krillin, although it doesn't work. As Mr. Popo produces the Dragon Balls, Shenron is summoned under a darkened sky. Yamcha wishes to revive those who were killed by Cell, and Trunks rises, yet Goku remains undetected by Piccolo. A second request to resurrect Goku is rejected by Shenron, leaving the group to contemplate another way to bring their hero back. However, from the afterlife, Goku conveys a heartfelt message to his friends, telling them not to revive him. He acknowledges being a magnet for villains as stated by Bulma and King Kai, and contemplates a peaceful Earth without him. Enjoying a unique status in the afterlife, Goku looks forward to endless challenges and meeting new people. Goku reassures everyone that he's happy where he is, and tells Gohan that he has nothing left to teach him, as he's stronger now than he ever was. As the Saiyan bids a farewell to his son and friends, an image of him appears in the sky, Krillin noting that even in death, Goku looks cheerful. As the group struggle with Goku's departure, Shenron floats idly by, waiting for the second wish. Shenron grows impatient, prompting the group to make a wish or forfeit their opportunity. Yamcha suggests a necklace for his girlfriend, however, Krillin wishes to transform number 17 and 18 back to regular humans. Unable to do this due to their overwhelming power, Shenron declines. 18 observes discreetly, appearing surprised at Krillin's wish. Yamcha questions why Krillin tried to use the wish for 17, to which Piccolo states that 17 was also brought back to life. Refocusing, Krillin questions if Shenron can instead remove the explosives from the androids' bodies. Shenron states that this wish is possible as it doesn't interfere with the power of the androids. He then grants the wish and bids a farewell, departing as the Dragon Balls scatter across the earth. Trunks inquires about Krillin's motive behind the wish, and Krillin expresses sympathy for the androids, burdened by having a bomb in them, as 18 sits discreetly, contemplating on what just happened. When asked about why Krillin helped 17 as well, he states he might just be perfect for 18, contemplating her to come out of hiding, exclaiming that her and 17 are twins. 18 tells Krillin not to get the wrong idea about her, and tells him that she's not thanking him for his wish. However, she turns around before leaving, telling Krillin that she'll see him soon. Yamcha encourages Krillin, suggesting the possibility of romance, while Piccolo remains perplexed by human emotions. As Krillin admits mixed feelings as he still misses Goku, the group disperses. Tien departs for home, telling the group he'll probably never see them again, and wishes Trunks the best of luck with the androids in his future. Yamcha decides to leave as well, and Trunks shares his plans to return to the future after a night's rest. Piccolo confirms his residence at the lookout, and after a few farewells, Gohan, Trunks, Yamcha, and Krillin part ways. As they travel, Yamcha enlightens Trunks about Vegeta's reaction to his death, and at Goku's home, Gohan consoles a grieving Chi-Chi. The following day sees a farewell gathering for Trunks, with attendees donning their best attire. An appreciative exchange between Trunks and Vegeta marks the occasion, and as Trunks departs in his time machine, an image of Goku lingers among Gohan and his friends. In Trunks' future within West City, he returns via the time machine. Greeting his mother Bulma, she remarks on his growth. He details his time in the hyperbolic time chamber at the lookout, where a day equates to a year of training. As he recounts his experiences, he mentions Goku's death, Gohan's subsequent vengeance, and even Vegeta's emotional reaction to his own demise, which astonishes Bulma. Their conversation is interrupted, however, by news of the androids attacking Parsley City. city. Confident, Trunks assures Bulma of his eventual success before transforming into a Super Saiyan and departing. In the midst of destruction, number 18 wreaks havoc while 17 observes, attributing her rage to a lost video game. Their banter is disrupted when an old man manages to shoot 17 in the face. In retaliation, 17 wastes no time, taking the gun that he had in his holster and shooting the old man. Soon after, Trunks arrives, declaring his intention to end the androids. In disbelief of Trunks' reappearance, the androids confront him, thinking they'll once again be able to have their way with him. Yet with his newfound power, Trunks swiftly defeats number 18, much to 17's surprise. Trunks then proceeds to overcome 17 in the name of his fallen friends and Gohan, destroying him as well via the bomb in his body. Declaring the battle unfinished, Trunks hints at one more threat looming. Fast forwarding 3 years, the time machine is ready for a round trip. As Trunks prepares for departure, he anticipates an attack from Cell. Confronting Cell, Trunks reveals he's aware of the plot and he declares the plan's failure and prepares for the showdown. Cell, taken aback by Trunks' confidence, processes his claims. Trunks confidently asserts that Cell was powerful in his perfect form, but Trunks believes that he can defeat him in the form he's in now. Piecing together the puzzle, Cell deduces Trunks' knowledge stems from time traveling, but skeptical, he mentions his surveillance data, which suggests Trunks couldn't even best the androids. Trunks then questions Cell on their current absence, prompting Cell to realize Trunks has defeated them after all. In disbelief, Cell is suddenly sent airborne by a shockwave from Trunks, who pursues him to a desolate terrain. Upon landing, a Super Saiyan transformation engulfs Trunks, prompting Cell to muster his strength as well. As Trunks vows to stop Cell's time-traveling ambitions, their clash ensues. Trunks gains the upper hand, landing a punch that leaves Cell reeling. Despite Cell's desperate tail strike, Trunks adeptly maneuvers, spinning Cell around and throwing him into the air. As Cell prepares to launch a Kamehameha wave at Trunks, he notices as the Super Saiyan powers up immensely, subsequently launching a devastating blast that eradicates Cell completely. Victorious, Trunks reverts to his original state, expressing his gratitude to Goku and the others before heading home, where Bulma warmly greets him. After enduring a rough future, Trunks, alongside Bulma and others, finally relishes true peace. A peace that, under Trunks' watchful eye, promises to last. The Cell Saga is without a doubt my favorite in all of Dragon Ball history. This saga, nestled with the intricate storyline of Dragon Ball, is the embodiment of the series' ability to masterfully blend intense battles, profound character development, and intricate plot twists. Furthermore, the introduction of time travel and the concept of multiple timelines brought a fresh and intricate dimension to the series. In essence, the Cell Saga is a masterclass of storytelling. It combines the best elements of Dragon Ball and weaves them into a narrative that remains etched in the memory of fans worldwide. But what do you guys think of this saga? Is it your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, remember, if you want to see more content like this a week or so early on my channel, you can become a member to receive this and other perks. Also, be sure to follow my socials to stay updated on more content I've got on the way. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.